Mr. Benny ready? We got a thumbs up.
As close as I can get.
We're live. Over to my. It's my left, but the right is Christopher Watson.
I think that'd be their left.
Yeah.
It's there. Yeah, it's our left.
And then over to my right or their left. On the other side of me is Benny. Everybody knows Benny. No introduction.
Yeah, that way is Benny. That way is Chris.
Yeah, there's nobody that way.
Benny.
See what happens when you go early? We only got like 9 people on.
Yeah, well, they're going to all be late today.
Probably.
I even prepared a video for this extravaganza.
Yep. I sent you a couple pictures.
Oh, yeah. I see that.
We'll get into that.
Oh, cool. Yep.
Kid with diabetes, like 4 years old. Got it all straightened out. So,
Chris, you're just a good-hearted person. You're one of these guys that we need in everyone's community.
I wouldn't go that far. Because I sure like drama.
And he likes your women, too.
And your women.
Oh, yeah, I'd be careful. If I lived close to him, I'd have to keep an eye on him.
I know. I got a picture of you today. Looked like you sleeping, and it was Tammy. I thought maybe I was going to slide in on them DMs while you were passed out. But I would gain about 30 pounds.
They were checking they did my, what do you call that, carotid arteries or whatever?
Oh, yeah. You mean corroded arteries?
Yeah, just a regular checkup. It wasn't nothing. I mean, just a regular deal. Nothing serious. Yep. So, Benny, tell us some good words. Let's hear some of your good words.
I talked to Kim Clump, John Clump, Caitlin Clump, Steve Smith, and everybody says keep up the good work.
All right. We're trying, huh?
Yeah.
That's not moonshine.
John wants to know if we're going to go to, Chris ought to go to that. It's not very far to go to Wilcox from Chris's house.
Should we go to Rex Allen Days?
Well, that's the opening day of bear season.
Those bears will wait.
There's bears down there in the, whatever the hell those mountains are down there. And you can also, if you're bear hunting down there and you tag 4 or 5 illegals, the state of Arizona will reward you.
Reimburse you?
Yeah.
They'll give you $5,000 debit card for every one you bring in.
What kind of shape do they have to be in?
Just as long as they can sign their name.
They just got to sign their name.
That just reminds me. I don't know why it reminded me of the story, but we went riding south of I-8 one day, and my son's like creepily looking at me through the door out there. We're supposed to be feeding my neighbor's
Let's
horses.
look at him, see if he is your son.
He's way out there with his shirt off. They're supposed to be over there feeding my neighbor's horse. So we all went riding. There's a bunch of us, family, cousin, uncle, whatever. We got way back there, and we had parked at the truck stop and rode out to Wilderness. Did a big circle, and we was coming up the I-8, and it's kind of getting dark, and I would lay over my saddle like I was dead every time a car would drive by. So, like slump over the saddle.
Did anybody stop?
No, nobody stops these days.
On going.
Yeah, they could have been dragging me down the pavement by a rope behind the horse, and people would have just videoed and kept going.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was back in 2000s, early 2000s. So I don't know why that reminded me of that story. Anyway,
what did I do? I had a good week. Kind of a good week. It was a long. Well, let's wait for another.
Well, yeah, because you want to play some clips.
Yeah, I'll play some clips of what happened.
I know he was gone so long that I got a call from Cody King saying, have you heard from Brett? He's out there, and I hadn't heard from him. I said, he has his GPS and his inReach, so
I got that messenger. Yeah, I got a call, and well, I'll tell the story after a while. Well, I can tell. Well, no, let's wait
we'll
because
get.
usually we don't get a bunch all the people on here until a little
Oh,
later.
yeah. I'll
Where
send you another. I'll show you what
where's
I
your
did today.
What, Benny?
Where's your second wife?
My second wife?
Yeah.
I took her today after she. See, when we go to doctor's offices and stuff, and like when I had to go have my carotid, she has to go in there with me
She don't trust you.
because I have been known to tell everybody I'm out of
I'm
here.
fine.
if, if you get one of those grumpy ones, or they say that you got an appointment at 2 and you don't get in until like 6 o'clock, I'll just tell them all goodbye. I don't.
His
Yeah,
wife makes him
I've
sick.
done it before. So she goes with me. The only place we were talking about this earlier today. She said, "Well, she said I finally got you trained. You'll go to the dentist now." And she said, "And on your own, you don't need any help." And because we do have a good dentist, man. I make my appointments way ahead of time. I always like them early on Monday morning, and they get me in there like at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. So you're the first one, and get in there, and they get me in there. That the lady who's been cleaning my teeth, she's been cleaning my teeth for 10 years, and her husband's a hunter, and she hunts too. She's a hell of a bow. She hunts with a compound bow. She's killed a lot of nice deer and elk and stuff, and so we always have a big old conversation. And you know how it is when you're out getting your teeth cleaned, you're talking to somebody, and they're talking to you, and she tells me all the stories. She doesn't ever hear any of mine.
Well, pass on that Kelly said that she really enjoyed getting to know your wife and visiting with her.
Oh, good.
Everybody likes Tammy.
Oh, yeah. Well, she makes up for a lot of my
And
asshole.
she said Casey's wife. What's her name? I said Diana. Yeah. She is the nicest, most genuine person. I said, yeah. She's the only reason Casey's not completely feral.
I don't know.
She drives kind of wild, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, Diana's pretty feral herself. I think they have to keep it on a level where they're both. One goes a little feral, and the other one pull it down. The other goes a little feral, the other pull it down.
I think to live the way they do up there, they got to be a little feral, don't they?
That's such a neat place. Such a neat place.
I think it helps.
Yep.
What else do we have? It's man, we're
I sent you a picture. I sent you a picture of what I did today.
You want me to put it up?
Yeah. I'll tell you a story about it.
This
it's
one,
an elk hunting story, but it's a story.
That one?
Not that one. Nope.
No.
That's for the next story.
Well, I don't have another one. I just got that. I got this one. The little elk hunter.
Nope. Next one. There should be another
one. I do not have another one.
Maybe it hasn't sent yet. Well, it says delivered.
Well, I just now got it. Wow. There you go.
Yep.
Did y'all get that?
My son did.
That's a nice bull.
And he did it by himself. And he chased. So last week he chased one. And they were bugling last week pretty good. And he got him in there. And he took a shot at one. And he hit it right in the throat. And he looks down at his sights. And his sights got knocked off. So somewhere in the truck, wherever, this elk bled for over a mile and a half, like you wouldn't believe. I'm talking 8, 9 big piles of blood.
Oh, yeah.
A trail you could follow. He says the sun was coming up, and when the sun was hitting that blood trail, and you could see that blood trail as long as there was a clear spot. It was just glistening off. Man, about 8:30, he calls me. He says, man, I shot this elk. This was the first one. I went out there about 8:30. We walked around till 2 o'clock. We did circles. you could track it with your eyes closed, and it would just come to a tree and it stopped bleeding. I said, he's here somewhere. He ran out. There's no way he went over a mile bleeding like that and lived. We could not find him. He went out the next day, no crows, couldn't find him. Wednesday, he went out hunting again and went out in the morning, tried to get those bulls back in. There was a bigger bull, and he ended up, went out the afternoon and found a dead elk out there. But it had rained really good Tuesday. This elk was in a spot we had before, and it was under a set of fresh tracks. So, and his antlers were cut off, and his neck was ate out. His neck and butthole, of course. They always go for the butt first. But I said, that's probably your elk, because the neck was ate out. There was a wound there, and he had an artery right there. So someone picked this elk up and dumped it another spot, because it was way south, and cut the antlers off. So he was kind of bummed about that, you know. So, because this is his first bull hunt with an archery with his by himself. First time he Robert, I'm in my Houndsman hat, Colorado Houndsman hat, and he so he's doing it all by himself. Wanted no help, so he had to go back to work. Went back to work a few days. Took the last 3 days off. Came down. Went out yesterday. Couldn't get him in. Well, that night he found that bull. He was calling, and he stole all that big bull's cows, and they were all around him, like 5 yards. He was even thrashing the bushes. He was kind of inside Peter, thrashing the bushes, and he could not get that elk to come in, even though he had cows 5 yards from him all around him. He couldn't stand up and even really go chase the bull where he was kind of screaming, because all the cow, he didn't want to bust him out. So he would let him settle down for a few days, went back over there, and then yesterday he hunted, today he finally got in there, and they started calling. They started, yelling again and getting that big bull was kind of pushing these bulls away now. And this bull come in about 20 yards from him, and so all he had was a forward shot. And he hit him right in that artery. That thing only it bled just like the other one did too. And it only went 100 yards and died. And he tried his hardest to get that bull into that Toyota right there. And he finally called me. And this stupid kid calls me. Says, hey, can you bring a truck and trailer? I said, well, is it the Spike or is it the big one? Because there's a curly horn Spike. Real cool. He's like, man, I'll take that Spike because it's a really neat curled Spike with 2 points on the end of it. He goes, no, it's my axle fell out of my truck. And I said, what? I said, well, it's kind of like a Spike then if the axle fell out. He goes, no, you don't understand. The whole front end fell out and it's behind me. I ran it over. I was like, now I'm like, damn, now I got to figure out how to get. I said, well, I'll just come get you. I think, well, just come get you. I had all this plan, and we'll just pull it backwards on the trailer. Bring my Toyota. We'll winch it backwards, get it on the truck, And he goes, well, I got a better idea. I know what will work. I go, what? He goes, you can come help me. You can come help me load my elk up. I'm like, oh, you son of a gun. But he tried for probably an hour. I know him. He had a ratchet strap there. He just couldn't get that
to do
body.
It himself.
He did. And, he broke down and called. Man, it took us 45 minutes. I brought my quad ramp. I brought a snatch block and pulled, and then, set the quad ramp down with a piece of wood and hooked to his headache rack there. And we pulled it up. So, and he's on his way to Flagstaff right now to drop it off with our taxidermist.
Is he the game warden?
No, we don't talk to that traitor.
Oh, he went off on the dark side, huh?
He's on the dark side. All them game wardens are arrogant.
Oh, jeez.
So, he called me. He actually called me the other day, or this morning. And I said, whatever it is, I wasn't there. I didn't do it. He's all, I got some questions for you. I said, go ahead and ask him, but it wasn't me. So
did your son use your new and improved golf club scope?
Nope. Used his own bow. Cheated.
How's our volume, guys? Give us a thumbs up if we're all pretty even. Or I know Benny's a little low, but he's sick anyway.
Yeah, Benny's not gonna get you wound up.
Thumbs up.
Michigan in the house.
Thumbs up.
Michigan. Deer season
Michigan
starting
in
over
the
there,
house.
isn't it? I know a snowbird over in Michigan, and he don't come down here till the deer season's over.
Next Monday, we're going to have George Lambert on here. George has.
Oh, did you buckle him?
Yeah,
down?
I talked to him.
Wow.
He went up to Maine and ran some bears up in Maine, and I think he has some pretty good stories to tell. And he sent me some videos to share with everybody. So
Nice.
we'll try to get that.
Hey,
up
maybe you should
next
announce
Monday.
that.
Maybe I should.
Announce the whole if you got any good videos and want to send them in.
Yeah, I mean,
Clips.
any of you guys that want to be part of this, I mean, this is just really just an open forum. I mean, if you got a good story and you got some pictures and some videos and you want to share any of your adventures or anything like that, let us know. Send them to us, and then we'll bring you on, and we can talk about it, and you can tell us your lies. We hate to be the only liars.
Yeah. Let me see.
Louisiana Hunting wants to know who he is. He hadn't been on here for so long.
Who is he? George Lambert. He's from, what is it, West Virginia, East Virginia, something like that. And he's a heck
Over
of a
there.
bear hunter.
Yeah.
And a hell of a houndsman. I mean, he trains hounds real good. He's a good guy.
He's just been kind of quiet last few months because he had a new
child, a new baby
Yes.
on the ground.
Yep.
And he lives in the only spot in the world where Starlink doesn't work. Isn't
One
that
day.
amazing?
There's a couple dark spots still, which is weird. The satellite comes across. I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know.
should you want me to tell my story?
I would. I sent you another picture somebody sent me today.
I ain't got it
It's
yet.
a real good one. You'll get there sooner or later. What time is it? Yeah.
I send all my stuff to Chris. If he wants to share them her.
Tim. That's Tim Brink,
channel,
ain't it?
He has
yeah,
them.
He sends them to my email. Let me see if I can find anything.
We forgot to tell you the rules. If there's snow on the ground, we won't share it.
You better edit it out.
Just Photoshop, you can edit out the snow.
Yeah, just put on the paint. Yep, there you go. just paint it brown.
If you don't, Benny, look at Benny. He's already got that smirk on his face.
Oh, here we go.
This is to cut the snow.
He had one in a covert he sent me. He just sent me not too long ago. Let me get it downloaded here out of my email. Oh, that's a God. It looks like
shares. Oh, there you go. I know. Wow. Look at this.
That's the guy.
What happened?
Let's see here. Save image. That looks like a fat bear.
Did you tree that one?
No, a guy sent it to me and said, "Why can't I see this during bear season?"
He's fat.
If you see something that caliber, it is bear season.
Here, let me go over here.
We got another thumbs down. How come we keep getting these thumbs down?
Who is that? We don't care. Show yourself, peasant. Here, I'll send you two more. This is a bear that Tim Brink got in a covert.
Oh, it's a bear.
Yeah, it looks like it's all plugged up, like he's stuck in the covert.
That looks like a hippopotamus.
Should be two coming in. One's a close-up. Look at him. It looks like he's just
I can't make him
Water's
out. Looks like I see an eye right there.
backed into the. There's a
See,
close up. I think you sent me a closer one.
was he popping his jaws, Tim?
Let's see what else old Timmy sent me.
What state was that big bear in?
Arizona. I think he's hunting in 6A, so it might have been in 6A, but it might be another. I don't.
Happy Jack.
Yeah, he asked where the elk were, and I sent him to a couple spots over there that I go.
Blue Ridge.
Let's see here. Oh, and over there in 6A?
Yeah.
Not all houndsmen can handle the cold.
That's true.
Kyle.
Uh-oh, my boy.
Benny? Or is that Chris?
No, it's me. Let me see what he has to say real quick.
Robert got all riled up. We should send him some New Mexico chili.
Not all houndsmen can handle the cold. Benny can't. I guarantee that. I thought he was going to freeze and die on me one time. And there wasn't snow or nothing. It was just cold.
Cold is cold.
And then his truck wouldn't start.
Then my toes almost got frostbit.
I was living in a camper trailer at that time way up on the mountain. And I only had a little wave heater. I don't know if anybody knows what a wave heater is, but all it does is just kind of keep the chill off. But it's real fuel efficient, and it was always warm enough for me. But then I had that little portable heater too. And I got it going for you, didn't I, Benny?
You did, and I almost stuck it in my pants.
Yeah, he got under. It had just a little table right there, and I put that heater right underneath him. With him sitting at that table, that heat ran right up between his legs. Thawed out his huevos rancheros.
Oh crapola! We rocked the acres there for a while.
He'd never come see you. Never came see me again up on that mountain, did you?
I don't know. Said I'll come in July.
It did get cold up there. I mean, it would get pretty dang cold.
And black and dark and no clouds and
no
stars.
Those kind of days. No stars.
I wonder. Coda posted on Facebook that Blood Origins movie will be out on YouTube Wednesday. I wonder how much money they raised with that, with a full documentary, cinematic style movie like that. I'm just curious about that.
I don't know.
There you go. Is this Tim Brinks?
Yeah, another one of Timmy's.
And he's a bear catching son of a gun, isn't he?
Probably steals them off the internet.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
So nope. Let me see. There's another one on this too.
I see where
my son.
Tony Rivera.
Unknown caller.
Oh my gosh. Tony Rivera.
You know, this has happened since we brought Chris on. He just is so popular. He doesn't even, half the time he doesn't even answer my calls because he's too busy talking to and talking to important people. I talk to 2 people or 3 people in this world. I talk to my wife, I talk to Benny, and I talk to Chris.
That's all the important people you need in your life.
Oh, I've been talking to Rick Dickerson too, Benny. Yeah.
And you never talk to Dickerson that you don't have a smile on your face.
Oh man, we had a really good. I learned a lot from him today. Him and I talked for quite a while, and because he called me, you know, after I'd been up on the mountain where that dead dog, and I told him, I said right when I didn't say hello or nothing, I said, man, I'm up here doing your job.
I think that's all I got.
He's a neat guy.
I think Tony Rivera has his book finished.
I've got his book right here.
But not in book form.
Not in hardback. It's no, I got the digital copy. I'm sorry. I don't have the hardback. I got Roy McBride's thesis right here. I got 3 of them. What am I doing with 3 of them?
You're that important.
I guess I didn't understand the first one. I had to print it out and read it again.
Or you printed it out, put it somewhere, and couldn't find it.
Can I tell my story? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chris is the boss. He tells me to wait.
And we got 111 people on. Tell your story.
Okay. This is what happened. This was last Monday night. Right when we got off. Matter of fact, I always talk to Chris. I usually call Chris after we do our little live shows just to see, if I said anything stupid or anything. And Chris will tell me. He'll say, "Dumbass, don't ever talk like that again." But so I was on the phone with Chris, and the phone rang, and I looked at the number, and I said, "Man, I better get this." It wasn't spam or anything, and I answered the phone. And this lady called me, and this lady is out of breath. She's, panicky. And she said, "I got your number. They told me that you had dogs." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Well, a lion came into my yard this afternoon and killed my dog." She said the lion came in and was looking in my window and then killed my dog. And I've heard lots of stories like this before, and you hear stories about people find out you have dogs, whatever, and they tell you they've seen a lion or they got a lion track. And I've chased down dog tracks and everything in the world, that wasn't really lions. And so I started quizzing her a little bit, and she told me, she said, "No, this lion was really, really skinny, wasn't very big." And she said, "I threw rocks at it. I threw everything in the world at it." And she said, "It killed my dog right in front of me." She said she even shot it with a pellet gun. And she said it killed she told me her husband's out of town, and said it killed my dog right in front of me. And then drug the dog off, took off. And I told her, I said, I'd come up there right now, but I said I'd rather do it in the morning. I'd rather come up there in the morning. And so I loaded up early the next morning and went up there, and I made a little video. Do you guys want to see the video? Give me some thumbs up if you want to see the video. Just a little video I made. Nothing. But you got to understand, this is why me and Chris decided to title this live the way we did. And on my other channel, we're all houndsmen here. And on my other channel, I don't think I would ever share anything like this. And I dang sure, now I'm getting a phone call. The suspense. That's my mother. I got to talk to my mother. She's calling me.
So let's tell our version of his story, Chris.
So, yeah, let's see if I can get it close. He got a call from a strange woman, went over to her house, chased the kitty around. Yep. He was the hero. Yep. And then he went and ratted himself out.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Well,
Mr. Ethics over here.
He's never made their most wanted list yet.
He is now.
I would have thrown that thing in the garbage and been a burn barrel and.
Yeah. But you have a lion, and there's a young lion, and it comes into your yard, up to your house, your window. So that lion has been probably taught to hunt around humans and houses, and probably a pet. Mama was probably a pet killer, and Mama probably got killed. And now this being a pet killer, and now this young one's running around doing the same thing. They learn. If you have 3 lions, this is what drives me crazy when people are like, I see 4 lions out there. It's mama, daddy, and babies. They stay close as a family. No, they don't. You know, that's the anti-spinning the narrative.
Hey, look, George is in the house. Getting ready.
George Lambert. Is that senior or is that?
You know, it doesn't matter. Just George Lambert.
That's all that matters.
Well, you know, Chris, people don't realize that lions, their food base is it's depends on what they were raised on. Every lion is an opportunist, but you have some lions that will still seek out cows. You have some lions that'll go after the elk, and you know they'll all eat a deer, but whatever they're raised on, that's kind of what they go after.
Now he had to go pee pee.
He just got all excited, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Talked to his mom. Now he had to go pee pee. So, this is what they learn. You know, they're not doing nothing wrong. They're just eating. But an elderly lady home, and I guess she went out and was like throwing stuff at it while it was killing her dog and like shooting it with the BB gun. So that lion could have at any time turned and killed that lady. We finished it for you.
Well, okay, what happened?
We set the lion, and it's out chasing rabbits, and everybody lived happily ever after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
anyways,
it's part of the deal that sometimes, I guess y'all probably been talking about it.
We just kind of threw out a narrative there.
Just go ahead with your story.
Well, yeah. You know, there's no glory in this. I mean, it's no man. I trailed this sucker for 2 days, and caught this big old tom. You know, and it's nothing like that. I just want to. The one thing that you have to be proud about is how good the dogs did. I mean, the dogs did really good. One thing they wouldn't do is they wouldn't start the lion in that lady's yard. Of course, she had a bunch of other dogs there, and there was commotion going on. The lady was there. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And me being smart, I thought, well, that lion went down to the river, killed that dog, and went down to the river. So I went down to the river and screwed around for, a while, and really couldn't ever get it started. And then we went up. There's a big old canyon that runs up the side of her house. And that's where we started it. So I made this little video. How come I make videos all the time, and how come when I do this it kind of makes me feel embarrassed? I'll see if I can do this.
It was a quick throw together just to show you guys what's up.
Yeah, what I do, and that's how I started making YouTube videos years ago, is I keep a video diary. And when I go out, I'll usually go out and I'll say, I'll video where I'm going that day, and I video, any conditions that I'm encountering, and whatever happens, what dogs I'm taking, and just the story. So it's just like if you were writing in a diary, except I'm too lazy to write in a diary. So I just hold the camera and I video. And that's how I started making YouTube videos in the first place. But I still do it. I still video almost every day. I go out and but I don't share it. Typically I don't put it anywhere. It's just for my own benefit. Maybe my great grandkids or someday they'll say, look how crazy my grandpa was, or my great grandpa was. A lion came in and killed a lady's dog in her yard, right up here in the mountain where I hunt sometimes. It's dark, still hot. I had to go get gas this morning. Temperature on my truck said it's still 73 degrees. Worst thing in the world, trying to start a lion track in somebody's yard. She had dogs there, but that lion had come in and killed her 17-year-old dog. I mean, I'm pretty sure that lion came right back down here to the river. I should be able to trailer down here on the river. We'll see what happens. It's kind of a dry hit. We got a westerly wind, and it's real dry, and you can see how the dust in the air. And we're in Greasewood, but I still thought we might be able to trail her. I'd like to have started her right out of her yard. There's a pile of blood there where the lion killed the dog. So we'll see what happens here. They went up here and caught it, I'm sure. Watch out. Watch out, booger. Good dogs. Good booger, good boy. Good dogs. Good dogs. Good dogs. Good boy, good boy. So that little thing was probably 6-7 months old and was starving to death. I mean, that's why she was eating she came into their yard and ate that dog. But she was so skinny, and what I did is I went straight to the Game and Fish. I went straight to the Game and Fish office, and I got there before the warden showed up. The lady that opens the door there, she was there, and she opened everything, and I told her what happened. I said, man, I didn't call you guys or, do anything like that. And I said, I hope I'm not in trouble or anything. I said, but this lion killed the lady's dog in her yard, right next to her sliding glass window. I mean, right there. And she said, well, let's call the warden. I thought it was Big Mike. I know him. He bought a couple dogs from me in years past, and he's like the section boss or whatever you call him. And they changed to another guy, and the other guy they called him, and and I talked to him on the phone, and that kind of bothered me. He said, "Oh, I know you." I said, "Okay," and he said, he asked me, "Do you have a depredation permit?" And I said, "No, sir, I don't." And he said, "Well, we'll call it an emergency deal," because it was. I mean, and really, we put that poor little old lion out of her misery. She was going to starve to death anyway. And she, a lion like that, liable to, this lady was taking her kid down to the bus stop that morning. And that's where I ended up meeting her, because I told her, I said, I'll bring this lion up here and you can whack it in the head if you want to. And because she was upset. I mean, she was not happy. And she said, well, I'm worried about my kids. She said, or her grandkids. It wasn't her kids. She said, my grandkids, I have to leave them down here at the bus stop. And you can imagine a little starving lion like that. There's no telling what they'll do. So it's kind of how me and Chris decided about the, discussion tonight is, sometimes they just have to die. I mean, and that's, no matter what size they are, female or young lion or whatever, if they get into doing bad things, they have to be, stopped. That's my story.
She was throwing stuff at it too.
She threw stuff at. There was a pile. There was like kids' toys, like one of those yard soft Nerf dart things that they throw. She said, I threw that thing at it and it bounced off of it. And she said it was growling. And this is what convinced me that I knew, besides her getting that close to it and throwing things at it, that I knew it was a lion. And I said, well, what did it do? How did it kill your dog? And it's the way lions kill dogs, is they grab them, they pull them in and bite the back of their head. And that's exactly, she said, it bit the back of my dog's head off. And that's the way lions kill dogs.
Well, that lion could have at any time turned and went after her and killed her in 2 seconds.
Could you imagine if her grandkid was there and she told her grandkid was up early and wanted to go outside and play, and went outside and was playing? You know, her grandkid was just a little bitty guy, and could have gone out there and got attacked, you know. So that's the second starving lion that I caught down there. I caught an old female down there. I guess I can show the picture. I don't show pictures on Facebook, guys. I just don't like Facebook. Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, not too not over 2 miles away from where this lion was. I don't know if I can find it. Let's see what
Robert Pino put it on Facebook.
Did Robert put that one? Because Robert's the one who killed it.
I think Robert put it on Facebook.
Did he? This lion I trailed for 3 days before I got her caught. It was she was up in some bluffs, and I couldn't get her caught. In those bluffs, she could get, even as skinny as she was, she could get away from me in those bluffs. And well, I can't find it.
Fact of the matter is, those lions are moving closer and closer, and there's a few studies on hazing that seem to help out too. So when you shut down units, and I've seen a lot of posts going around about hazing and lions coming in, especially California.
This one wasn't a starving lion. This was a big old tom right here.
Brett, what kind of dog did that lady lose? What was her pet?
It was, I don't know what kind it was, but it was only about, she said it was a little bitty dog, you know, probably about 25 pounds.
Did it haul it off?
Huh?
Did it haul it off?
I didn't find the dog. I didn't ever find the dog, and I should have went around there and looked for it. It probably wasn't very far from where this lion was, because she drug it. I thought she'd take it down to the river because that's where all the brush was, but there was also this big canyon there, and the dogs I can't even recall where the dogs started the lion, because I just free casted them. You know, I just let them loose and drove around down through there. And Booger, of course, Booger's the one who started it, and you know, he didn't start it like he didn't start it like it was right off of a fresh kill. I mean, he's a little bitty lion, you know, not much bigger than a bobcat really, and he started it silent. I know I lost track of him, and I seen him on the GPS, and he was up there. And then the terrorists, they knew what he was doing, and they went up there, and with them, I thought it might have been a skunk or something, but they went up there and they all started trailing. They trailed him up. They trailed her up the canyon, you know, and caught her underneath that bush. And
why they didn't stretch her?
They were stretching her when I got there, but I started calling them. I just like that lion, that picture of that tom on that bluff. I can call them off. I mean, they know, you know, I got to call. I call them off. And I call them back, and I say call them off. I call them back, you know, and they're still, I cut out a lot of the screaming and yelling because, you know, hey guys, come on, let's go, come on, good dogs, good. I always say good dogs, you know, but And they'll look at me and they'll move away. And I was sitting there ready. And when they moved away, I wasn't 10 foot from that lion. I just shot it. And I put a 30-30 hole in it, so it died pretty fast. I could have shot it in the foot and it would have died.
See who gives you. We'll see if there's anybody out there give you a review.
I'll probably get some. I might not leave this one public. I don't know. I hate to, because people who just don't understand.
Well, what if her grandkid? How old is her grandkid? 6?
No, he was probably
older.
What, 2nd or 3rd grade, I think.
Oh, so like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Still, that 90-pound lion killed that full-grown kid in California. So this little 60, 70-pound lion could have definitely done damage to the lady, the elderly lady.
Well, how big was that lion? My son-in-law caught it in a snare, killed and started eating a 55-year-old man at Silver City. You remember that?
Yeah, I went up there and tried to catch that lion. That's the one that the guy was. That's a pretty good story. That guy was I get calls on lions, and the guy who had the ranch right down below where this guy got killed called me. He said, "We got a lion walking up and down our canyon here. Do you think you can get it? If you get a chance to catch him and get him out of here, because he was walking right by houses, right everything, and it's terrible to try to trail lions in conditions like that." And so I went up there. That was with Tink Burris. He's a rancher. He's got 2 ranches that I hunt on, and that was back in the day when I had the shock collar or the shocking system, the Tritronics, and little black thing with the colored buttons on it. And I went up there and we trailed around. I never could get that lion caught, and I lost my Tritronics. And it was the 2nd time I'd lost it on one of his ranches. And he cornered me one day. He said, he said, "You find that?" And I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "I'm going to get you a string and tie it around your ding-a-ling so you never lose that thing again." But that lion killed that man like 2 weeks later. And they snared him. But that guy, there's a story to that. That guy was one of these hippie guys, and he had an outside shower, and he used to walk naked about 100 yards from the house to the shower. And that lion caught him before he got to his shower. And I think without clothes on and everything, he was just another animal out there.
See what happens when you tie things to your ding-a-ling? Cats like to go after it.
So my daughter was married to Jed back then.
Yep.
They called him. He was a government trapper, and Jed's extremely good with snares. And he set 3 snares. I guess they shot at the lion, the game warden or somebody shot at the lion once or twice.
He'd been all over that country in there.
I think they got Sam Derringer. I think it was Sam Derringer came over there, and because it was too close to all the houses and everything, they didn't have any luck. And so they got Jed over there, and Jed set 3 snares. And people were all pissed off because one snare caught the lion, one snare caught a javelina, and one snare caught a woman on her horse.
That sounds like what my dogs would do.
Well, I'll tell you, she wasn't supposed to be out there, and you got to give it to Jed. He had 100% catch.
Yeah, Jed's a good trapper. I went and tried to helped him catch that bear. I didn't catch it. Jed ended up snaring it. That bear that was killing.
He was eating cows.
Yeah, exactly.
He was just eating the bags off of the cows.
Huh.
And I wish I had that bear. That bear was a really, really cool color and marking.
Here's one I caught out in the Bighorn Sheep Range. There was no trees there either. She was a big old female, but she had a death sentence because she was in the Bighorn Sheep Range. So I don't know what they do now. They quit calling me, and I don't know what they do now, but I don't know. I don't know what happened. But I know that I know one thing because I talked to the biologists that worked out there. They started they'll collar a tom, and they'll have that tom come through their place, or they have these toms that are collared, and those toms have big range, and when they come in through their place, they know they're there. And if that tom stays for longer than 2 weeks, they know that they have a female in that country. And so when they have a female, then they go out there and try to snare that female and get her out of there, because her range is she's going to stay there in that bighorn sheep range. That tom, if there's no female in there, he'll hang around for a little while. He might, I guess he'd probably kill a sheep. He's got to eat too, but he'll usually keep on walking until he finds a female somewhere. Does that make sense?
Sounds like the right theory to me. And you heard it here, so it means it's true.
It's got to be true.
So, real quick, I'll tell you that story about the kid, because he's supposed to be watching tonight. It was Chuck Thompson called me or text me, emailed me, or text me, messaged me, and asking about if there's a New Mexico Houndsman Association. I said, I heard there is one. I don't know how proactive they are, but I think he bounces from New Mexico to Texas, and asked if there's one in Texas too. Liked what I was doing with the Arizona Working Dog Alliance, and but he started talking about his kid, and he had to kind of quit hunting because they found out his kid had diabetes, Cameron, and that's the pictures we'll show. And he's supposed to be watching tonight. So I said, "Do you mind if we mention his name?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, you mind if we show his picture?" So that's the picture of the kid. So he's better now, getting better, and they just got to kind of deal with the diabetes. But
is it the one with the orange shirt on?
Yeah, the 2 pictures of the kid I sent you. So that's Cameron. So we're going to say hi to Cameron and make him a star. There he is.
Hello, Cameron.
Cameron the Houndsman. So hopefully he's watching. It ain't his bedtime. Figured we better get it on there before he has to go to bed. There should be another picture.
He's
a little rodeo kid.
He's a rodeo kid. All right.
He does rodeo and hunting. There you go.
Look at that. Got him a big old belt buckle. Nice straw hat and a nice buckskin horse in the background.
Yep.
Cool beans.
Looked like a roping saddle too. So
yeah,
maybe his daddy's roping.
Don't let Cody King tease you or say anything about his dogs being broke completely. They're not totally broke. They'll trash the crocodile.
Oh, Cody. Cody looked like he came off Crocodile Dundee movie.
I know it.
And Cody did, we'll kind of throw this out there, and I did let Dan Gates know. I said, hey, because it was under Cody's business, I said, did you, and it was under another name that the guy who sent it. So Cody was worried that they wouldn't realize it was us. So I text Dan Gates, says, hey, did you get that $11,300 donation? And he said, yeah, from a Scott. And I said, yeah, that's going to be the one. And it's Cody's business. But Cody King's the one who, got that all collaborating up.
He's the one that made it happen.
He's the one that made it happen.
And Chris, I gave you another guy's number. Or I gave your number to another guy who's wanting to donate, and he was. Oh,
he did text me.
Good.
Oh, you asked me if And I said yeah. Basically Dan was like, they're gonna fight it till the last day, and they do got a lot of advertisement going on out there.
Good.
So if you guys want to share it, besides you could still donate. So every $5, $10, $20 helps. And then if you go to CRWM on Instagram, it's where they really put it out. And I've seen it on everybody's story, and you can share it on your stories. And saturation is the key.
Getting to the people who are neutral.
Yep.
Because you're going to have the antis. It doesn't matter what you say. They're gonna be against it. It's the people who, they're going about their business. They're working every day. They got kids. They got, things they're doing, and they're going to go vote, and they won't know anything about it unless somebody hits them up. And it makes sense. Let the biologists make the decisions. Don't let the ballot box make the decision. Now, guys, I'm going to show you this, and I don't want you to feel bad about it. This was I'll show you first the picture.
It's not my soap picture, is it?
No.
I found that. I have that.
Now, this lion was caught not 2 miles from where that little starving female was that killed that dog. And I'll show the dead picture. I don't usually show dead pictures, but I'll show her mouth. I might have done this before. I can't remember.
I think we showed it once, but it's all right. Show it again.
Look at that. Look at the teeth in that thing.
She'd have to tenderize that meat and swallow it whole, probably.
See, that's what I do is I trail these lions in there until they're so old and so skinny, I can finally catch them.
Takes them that long. You've been chasing that lion since '83.
I can finally catch them when they're just about to die.
Yep.
That's old Uno. He's one of the head terrorists right there.
And you did that lion a favor right there. That lion was bones.
Well, I wasn't going to kill it at first. You know, I just looked at it, and what I did, I was in the buggy, and I can't haul all my dogs in the buggy. So I treed it. I trailed it for 3 days before that, and it kept getting up in some bluffs that I couldn't get to. I would try to get in there and get to it. And look how skinny this thing is. Is that
horrible.
Bad or what? Yeah. That's what happens when you don't manage your lion population correctly. They suffer. And that lion was absolutely suffering.
What causes a lion? What causes these lions? Crazy is that lion was dumped in that area as a kitten at one point. So her mother grew up in that area. So her mother did enough to raise at least one litter. And then, so that lion grew up. I mean, you're on the river. There's plenty probably game for that lion. Because them lions, everybody says, oh, them lions, they just kill one deer a week. Probably not true. Those lions kill everything. Skunks, porcupines.
The skinny lion, the skinny female right there in that picture, she had killed a sandhill crane. And I found her track. Good. I found her track coming out one day, and she was going down. I knew she was going to be down on the river. So I came back early the next morning, and I can only carry, at that time I had that old box. I could only really carry 4 dogs in that box, maybe 5. And I brought them down. We treed that lion. So I thought, man, you know, I said, I can get a little more use out of this lion. So I went back, got another set of dogs, took them down there, trailed her down the river about another half a mile, maybe a mile, and caught her again. Put her in a tree, one of those salt cedars out there. And I got to looking at her real close that time. I thought, man, you know, she's in bad shape. This lion needs to die. And I don't like, you know, I didn't want to tag it. And Robert hadn't been, he got rid of his dogs, but he still had a lion tag. So I called Robert and I said, hey, Robert, I said, let's go out tomorrow morning. I think we can catch this lion again. And you're welcome to it. And we went out that next morning, and Robert went ahead and shot her. And he had her rugged out. You know, he took her down, had her taxidermied and rugged out and everything. So she didn't totally go to waste. But
so,
yeah,
lion's been taken. How many states? And Rick Cooley said, how many states can you not hunt lions in? It's not that you can't hunt lions in a lot of those states. You can't use hounds to hunt lions in those states now. I think you can hunt lions. Can you hunt lions in Washington or no? Without dogs. One of those states, right?
I have no idea.
Oregon. I don't know if you can't kill them. I just don't think you kill them with dogs. I don't know.
Where's Wayne at? No.
Yeah, where's Wayne? Where's his daughter? I know she's done with that hunter safety. My kids finished hunter safety, so we're gonna shut down some units for bear before them New Mexicans come over and do it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna burn up my kids' back.
Did you finish talking about? You know, your ex-son-in-law is the one who snared that big bear up there that was killing calves.
Yeah,
and he would kill a calf and eat what he wanted and leave and come back the next day and kill another calf. He wasn't, he was just killing. He just loved to kill. And he was a big old, I ran him. We ran him, me and Randy Lindsay. I think we had 18 dogs on him. And we ran him almost all the way up to Hillsboro Peak up there. And we couldn't get him. And Jed offered me when Jed got him snared, I think he got him snared like 2 days later. And he offered me the hide because he said, you can have this hide if you want to. Because he was a really unique colored bear. He was black with red legs. He had red, he was a paint, really.
Yeah,
so he's really cool.
He offer him to me.
He what?
He knew better than to offer him to me. I would have taken him.
I thought about it, but I got lion skulls and stuff, but I don't know. I was going to go let those terrorists go tree a bear this year. And because I want a rug for the back of my couch. You put them over the couch and the head, on the end of the couch. I thought that'd be pretty cool. And then I don't have a lion hide or anything. And I want to get one taxidermied, and like he's rolled, like a cat rolls up in a circle, with his head up and his tail coming around him, and put him in the corner of the living room there. If my wife don't really like shit like that.
I would suggest if you ever did that, you'd look up Dean Hendrickson over there in Colorado.
Dean, or what about Major's down here? Major Studio. I've seen some lions he does, and he's like that. Everybody screws up the face of a lion. They screw up the head, and he does a really good job. But I know Dean, that's his specialty, isn't it?
He's just an artist.
Yeah. But hell, I got to catch one worth doing that to first.
So Oregon, you can hunt them, just not with hounds.
What how are you? What do you do? Go out there and call them in,
yeah, spot and stalk, call them in, predator call.
Spot and stalk would be pretty tough.
That's thick country. I don't know. I'm sure they got some.
If the population density is that great, maybe it's doable. I don't know.
Chris or Missy, do you know how many lions are took out of Oregon every year? That's what I'd like to know.
Oh, I got another picture. Who was it? This was a big.
Gene Morris sent me that and said that his son's buddy got that.
That's a real bear right there. No, that's not. Not one of these little baby bears we got down here.
Is Gene on here? He's on here. Buddy of my boy, Arctic Grizz.
Yeah, they're protected in Florida, aren't they?
Do they got a lot of lions? I know there's a lot of cougars in Florida.
Well, they call it the Florida lion, and they say it's a unique. What, Benny?
It's the panther. The Florida panther.
And it's just another lion, isn't it, Benny?
And then
there's a lot to that story that they're not publishing.
Like they hauled lions out of other places and planted them there too, didn't they?
The McBrides hauled a lot of lions from Texas and put them in Florida.
Wasn't that because of the inbreeding? They didn't want them to inbreed so much. Isn't there a story about the inbreeding?
But then it's not the Florida panther anymore. It's a Texas lion.
That's the deal. That's what too also is. Because of that line they brought out of Texas.
But yeah, the McBrides were a big part of that Florida panther deal. And they caught lions in Texas, shipped them to Florida, and turned them loose to help the population.
Yeah. And then Michigan. Can't hunt them in Michigan, but how many lions are in Michigan there, caveman?
There's 6.
There's lions up there. My wife's cousin has a picture on the back side of their farm down in the woods on their trail camera. They were looking for deer, and a mountain lion, big as day, just walked right through the woods over there in central Wisconsin.
I got it. I got another story here. If you guys are willing to listen to me.
Do we have a choice? You're controlling the whole thing.
Oh, geez. Things are getting... I know what I can do here. Where'd that go?
No, my neighbor. Let me answer this call. My neighbor's calling me. One of us in the hospital.
It's like my mom calling me. She's 89 years old. When you have an 89-year-old mother and she calls you, you answer the phone. It don't matter what you're doing.
Well, where's the story?
What? Oh, my story? Let me see if I can find the picture. I don't know if I have it here.
Least were sterile? You mean the ones that came out of Texas? Why would they sterilize them if they're trying to improve the gene pool and the overall population?
How did he? All Florida panther males released were sterile. Maybe they weren't supposed to be sterile.
I don't know.
I don't know. Let me see if I can find this other deal. I'm spilling my guts tonight, so I'll go ahead and spill some more. I got a call on another ranch. Another story. This was 2 days after I caught a little starving female. If you look right there, this is what they seen. That lion coming out of the canyon, and that picture was taken at, I think, like 3:30 or 4 o'clock the day before. I got out there the next day at 2 o'clock. And just because I told him, I said, I'll take these old female dogs I got, because they're really track-minded. That P dog I got, she'll trail when nothing else will trail. And it was 92 degrees. And I went out there, and I was just going to walk around to see if I could try to figure out which direction those lions. There was 2 lions. I got another picture of another lion somewhere. There was 2 lions. There's a Tom and a female going there together. And I went out there and took those dogs and walked, just hiked. I didn't take my mule, and I just walked across there. And I'll be dang if we didn't trail that lion in 92-degree weather for, I'm going to say, 2.5 miles. And I mean, I gave the dogs I packed water in my little backpack, and I gave them every bit of water I had. And yeah, but it was pretty cool, really. I mean, I was pretty proud of those old females, because they let me see if I can share this. While we're all waiting for Chris to get off the phone. Man, he's just too important.
He's going to have to set a schedule.
Well, he's getting just like a politician.
Hey, that's cool. I'm starting to freak up.
Oh, no, this is the wrong day. Iris! I just figured out how to share this stuff.
Misty, how were that many lions killed in Oregon with no dogs?
Is that with government hunters or is there just that many lions you can go out there and blow a call and get them in, or is there that many deer hunters and spot stalkers that? It sounds to me if they're just spot stalking, there's a lot of lions there if you're killing that many lions. I sent you 2 pictures, but don't post that one picture, Brett, with the bear hanging on the back. I'm gonna scratch out his license plate. I'll resend it here in a second. Tim sent a picture of his wife's bear. Post that one where it's just him and his wife, or his wife holding her bear. He blocked it out, but he didn't block the other one out.
Okay, it hasn't quite come in yet.
Yeah, I'll send you another one with it blocked out though. Done. I'll send you another one. That looks like a sow to me. That's all I'm gonna say. But they can kill anything over there.
Where's this at?
Idaho. Tim Brooks' wife's bear.
You don't want to show me which. You don't want me to show which picture.
So there's one with just the bear on the tailgate.
Yep.
I'm gonna send you, and it shows the license plate. I marked it out and sent you another one. So send the one. Show the one where his wife's standing there on the tailgate. He blocked it out.
Oh yeah, I see where it's blocked out.
Mm-hmm. Idaho bear.
What's that green stuff everywhere?
I don't know. Every time Jeremy sends me something, I said, "What is that shiny stuff on the ground?" He says, "That's water." That does not include government hunters. We have an estimated population of 6,400 lions. That's a lot of lions. That's a lot of lions. And that's Oregon. I think you guys got to get off your ass and do some very proactive nagging to the state, just like them stupid pukes. I mean, the anti-hunters do, to where they cause such effing grief that they have to do something. Just like Arizona, whine. Oh, we're going to take away the summer hunting. There's nothing killed in the summer. Very few. It's too damn hot in Arizona for one, in the good areas, you know.
Let me see if I got this. Now, I was proud of these old dogs. I mean, it was 92 degrees. The wind was blowing, and you can trail a lion in the wind, and you can tell by the country how bad a country. We trailed up to the top of that little bald hill, came down the other side, came down a chute, and then there's some bluffs off, and I ran out of dog power. Honestly, I mean, they just kind of.
Just one more dog.
Well, not one more dog. I needed about 10 less degrees. I mean, that far, that long in 92-degree weather is. I was amazed. They're fat and out of shape, too. They're like me. I was kind of amazed that they could trail that far. Really. Wind blowing so hard. But what do you think, Benny? Was that all right?
Yeah, there was a lot of rock on the ground, and that holds scent real well.
Holds scent really good. That's the key right there. But if you're also, in some rock with a little bit of foliage makes a big difference too, because then it's protected and you can trail a lot faster.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a picture I'm gonna send you that Robert sent me. Don't worry, Robert. Don't worry. I fixed it for you. So I don't want to embarrass nobody around here. Brett made a rule. I sent it to you. Oh no, I sent it to Robert again and let him see what it is first.
Rowdy says Idaho has little bears. Oh man, that's nice.
There you go. Look at Robert. Caught it. He caught that bear. Robert caught that bear in the dirty old sand. Can you guys believe that? I didn't even know there's places like that in Colorado.
That was Colorado, yeah.
He lives up on the tree line. You can tell.
I don't look like 10,000 feet to me, Robert. I think you lied to us. Maybe you should send the real picture. I sent it to you. It's coming.
He's kind of overdressed for that kind of country, though, isn't he?
Why is he wearing a beanie?
And camouflage. I mean, he sticks out.
Definitely the wrong camouflage.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I sent the real picture. He called me a dick. Can you believe that? I don't get that. Listen, I'm just trying to save him some embarrassment. You get that other picture yet? The embarrassing one?
Oh, I got the good one. Well, damn. That's like a polar bear.
It looks a lot bigger in that that white stuff, whatever that is. Cocaine?
That's a nice
is that cocaine bear.
Shit, that's a nice bear. Look at the teeth. I bet he's an old bear, isn't he? Big noggin on him. And I'm talking about the bear.
That's what happens when you have a porn stash, not a full beard.
Porn stash.
I'm not the best editor, but I can make it funny quick.
Hey, Brett, didn't Terrell Shelley accuse you of putting porn on the end of your videos?
Yeah, I don't know. It was hard to tell if Terrell was teasing me or
what's his algorithm doing?
He called me over there. He said, "How come on your YouTube videos at the end of them they're always porn? There's porn." I said, "They don't do that on YouTube. They can't do that." He said, "Well, it's some pretty shady stuff." I said, "Man, I wanted to tell him so bad. Mr. Shelley, the algorithm follows what the viewer wants to watch. And so if you've been watching something before this, that's what it's going to suggest to you."
Oh, I kind of like posting everybody's picture. He was 650 pounds. The bear or the guy who shot it? Yeah.
What else, guys? Keep the stories coming in. I've told all my stories. I don't have any left.
Arizona's the same way. I think your average is anywhere from 150 to 200. 250 is pretty good bear to get, but you do get those big 300-400 pounders. And those are the dangerous ones. The hard ones are those 100 pounds to 150 pounds, because I call them Ethiopian bears because they run. Those guys run. I've had a bear start on a mountain, me and another guy. I mean, it was quick. Here's kind of a funny story. We're up on this mountain, and the gate's open, so we go up to the lookout. We drop down. The dog starts something, so we have to haul back up the mountain, and I'm dying. It's steep. And we get to the top, game warden sitting there, and I know him. He knows us. So we throw the dogs a little bit of food while we're kind of BSing with game warden, and you can hear the dogs going. We throw them on the truck. We get down to the bottom, and the game warden pulls over. And he goes up to the guy in front of me. He goes, "Hey, you got a bear tag, by the way?" He goes, "No, Chris does." And I was thinking, man, I don't know if I actually have a bear tag. And he comes back to me and he goes, "You got a bear tag?" I said, "No, he does." He goes, "Nope." I said, "Man, can you check and see if I have one?" He says, "I'm pretty sure you don't." I said, "Well, it's a good thing my dogs, they're not chasing bear anyways. My dogs are bobcat dogs, so we're chasing bobcat." He goes, "Well, you just be sure to shock them off them big black furry things." I said, "Absolutely." Never chase a bear with my dogs. Trashy
We don't
sons
chase bears. We run coyotes.
of... But those dogs were flying, and we even cut them off. And I was holding fresh dogs. We hear them coming in, and that bear just smoked them. Those dogs come in just tired. I mean, them bears will run 10 miles in 5 seconds, man. You know, they're quick. Those running bears, I don't like running bears.
That's
So,
why I don't like
but
bears
but the
in
big
general.
ones, they just walk along like those are you. I've caught them crossing the road, 15 dogs on them, and them dogs. It's a mean bear. You could tell the mean bear. Them dogs will stay back, just following them. You know, and that bear just walking along like nothing. Dog gets too close, he turns around, swats at it, and just turns around and walks off.
Nonchalant. I know.
Yep.
I don't. But I say I danced with those bears for a while, and
Where was that big number up here?
trailing lions in the desert is like an old man sport. It's kind of slow paced and easy going. You can just kind of meander around and stay with them.
What was that
Benny.
big number there? 6,400 lions.
And you can wear your Bermuda shorts and your flip flops.
No camouflage necessary.
No.
So, Missy said they show 16,826 hunters last year. So I guess 300 lions out of all them hunters, probably not too bad.
That's a lot of
so
lions.
you imagine,
That's
I bet you those are
lions.
just, there's 64, what do you say, 6,400 lions estimated?
That's
16,000 hunters, almost 17,000 hunters. So.
Seems like an awful lot. Of course, I don't know that country.
I think it's pretty brushy. Oregon. There's a lot of foliage, a lot of water, a lot of moisture.
A lot of game.
Mm-hmm. And you know how many? I'll probably get a text or a call saying, "Hey, don't mention those 120-pound bobcats they tree all the time over there." You know they're treeing them. If they're treeing bobcats, you know they're treeing those lions up in there just running through.
So do you get in trouble if you tree a lion and you walk away from the tree?
Well, in Arizona, it's lion season right now. And well, I think it depends. If you have the intent, if they can prove that you're, like, let's say Arizona, bears closed down right now, and you have lion open and coyote open all year. So you could go run coyote all year, or coon. And it's the same in California. You can go run coon, whatever. And so I get in trouble for saying 300-pound coons, but when you're running lions and you keep treating the black lion, 200-pound black lion. But I think as long as you just pull them off and go a bunch your way, or, I guess if the game warden comes and sees you cross that road and keep going, and there's obvious bear track in the road, they're going to get you.
It's not that bad. I used to run a lot of coyotes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I liked it. I mean, I did it on horseback. It was a lot of fun. Here's one for the
knife. For the antis.
Yeah, real quick.
Tim, those numbers come from the ODFW Lion Harvest Mandatory Harvest Survey Report. And then that sow on Tim's truck was 300 plus pounds.
It's a big old sow.
Let me see what Gene's sending me. Oh.
Guys, I'm going to go take some medicine and go to bed. I got to go make
NyQuil. NyQuil up.
Good night, Benny. Yeah. Give us a double thumbs up in the camera.
There it is.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Good guy. See you later. Let me see here. I'm going to send you I'm going to send you another one from Gene Morris. I'm not even going to edit it.
Oh, I got some pictures here. Hold on.
Man, that's a big old head. Chris Burrows, my buddy's boy. Gene, where's this last bear you sent me took? Where are you at? Where was that other one took? I don't think you said.
I don't have my phone. Who sent me this? I can't. It doesn't come up on my computer who it is. Let me see.
So that kid we posted a picture of, his dad said, "Super cool, man. I sure do appreciate y'all. That made his whole year. He's all fired up now. Says he wants to be a YouTuber."
Oh,
don't do it.
no.
Don't do it. Don't get dogs and don't do YouTube. It's the worst combination.
Oh, man. It's a long, hard road. Guaranteed.
Let me see here. I sent you another picture. And that's Gene Morris's buddy's son. Where's that, Gene? Where's that bear?
Is that with this big old bear here?
Yeah, look at the head on that.
That's a big bear.
Look like a good one.
What's that guy? He's probably standing 60 yards behind you.
I know I took a picture. Look at that.
That's a nice bear.
Just fat. Real fat. That's a fat bear.
Did you get a lot of meat off a bear like that, Chris? Bottle it up?
No, you get the fat. I like the fat. When they're big and fat like that, you'll get, just chunks and chunks of fat off it. And I use every bit of my fat.
And you render it down?
And I cook with it. I cook with it. The only thing I haven't done is I need to throw me a jar in my window so it reads the weather. Like old Clay Newcomb says to do.
Have you ate much lion?
Yeah, I've ate lion. I like it.
I don't like it.
Really?
I had it. Well, I had it a long time ago and I liked it. It was all right. I think I was a lot hungrier back then. And then we had it at this last rendezvous thing, and
still nothing.
I got these coyotes. Is that the one?
Yeah, it's his rig dog. Best rig dog ever, he says.
Oh, that's cool. Rigging coyotes.
I think that's what he's talking about. Let me see.
I gotta know, Gene. I gotta know the story. How do you run those coyotes there, and how successful are you, and all that kind of stuff. Send him a link.
You want to get on, Gene? Can you get on, Gene?
Will you get on, Gene? Can you? Do you have a smartphone?
We'll bump into some coyote hunting.
I love to hunt coyote.
New Mexico. Oh, New Mexico. Oh, that's one of them New Mexican bear killers. Arizona bear killers.
New Mexico. He caught those coyotes in New Mexico?
Where'd you catch the coyotes?
I was going to say, if you could run coyotes with dogs in New Mexico, scent hounds, man, I'd have me a whole kennel full of them.
Let me send him a link here. See if I don't know if he can get on, but let me see.
Jeez, a 650-pound bear had 11 inches of fat on his back. He was 8 years old.
Oh, God. That right there gets me all crazy. I'll take that fat. If anybody in Arizona wants to sell, I'll pay you $1 a pound for some fat.
Do you make your pie crust with it?
Everything. I cook everything with it. And I make a lot of soap. I just sent, Missy just sent me a bunch of collars. So now I got to send her a bunch more soap. I said, I got to pay for it. She said, no, you got to pay for it. Just some collars I had left around I made. So I sent her 3 cups and 3 bars of soap. But she's on as many collars she sent me, she's on my lifetime soap list.
There you go. She's one of our most loyal watchers too.
Yep. ADAC. trying to copy this. Hope it's the right one. I know.
Okay, I'll find some more pictures while you're looking.
Here
Here you go. I'm showing all my pictures tonight. There was my stag hounds, and this was a little horse I called Flip. And he got his name honestly, because that little fart flipped over on me a few times. Man, look how young I was then. There's the stag hounds.
Dang it. I thought Tim just hit me something else. Where'd it go?
And I would run a jackrabbit every now and then. You find it yet?
Well, I sent a link. I don't know if you can get on. I hope if it works. Thought I had it saved. But... Oh, there it is. Come on, send me some more pictures, people.
We need more pictures. This is open photo night.
Chris, we render it down, and there's a guy that pays $100 a gallon for it. Price might go up this year because gallon glass jars are hard to find. Yeah, I just seen a guy selling 5-gallon carboys, which are the 5-gallon glass ones, for $20 a piece down in Phoenix. I couldn't get down there and get them. That's what I make my wine out of. That's another thing I did. I've been able to do nothing all week. I peeled apples, and I got 25 jars of apple pie filling. Then I went elk hunting Sunday. Bumped into a guy out there, and he goes, "Oh, is there line around here?" I'm like, "There's a lot of line around here." You know, I was down over by kind of by Heber, between Holbrook and Heber, doing some hunting. So the over-the-counter hunt. Oh, Robert's sending some bear. Robert's sending some bear here. You're gonna have to tell us the story. I'm trying to save and send as fast as I can. Another one.
Okay.
We will be down, Chris. Good boar. If you want fat meat, it's all yours. I'll make you some soap. A little baby face.
Was that a spot and stock? I mean, are these spot and stocked or?
That one looks like a spot and stock.
I don't see any dogs around there.
Oops. Send an email if you guys want to email. I'm trying to get on here. Let me send. Did I send him another link? Let me send you another link here. Make sure it's the right one. Ryan, where'd he go?
We had this one, and this one was stolen out of my little cabin. Is that your dogs?
Oh, probably. Yeah, I got my door open. It's nice. The weather's been nice.
I wish it'd cool down here. It's a little cooler in the morning, but still getting up over 90 degrees during the day.
Oh, we got Jared Fisher in here.
Here's one. Here's one my dog's trashed on.
Gosh dang it! Stop it. That's a good sized bear. They always look better in the pictures too, for sure. Save. Oh, I can just send that to you, I think. Brett Vaughn. This is Jared Fisher. Says, since we're sharing bears, he's a lion hunter. How you preserve the fat? render it down, and I put it in pickle jars. I buy gallon pickle jars, and I just put it in there and throw it in my shop fridge, basically.
Now,
And it lasts
guys,
forever.
this was back when this was legal. They didn't have cell phone cameras at that time. You had these Buckeye cams, and they were real expensive. You have a solar panel, and there's an antenna. See that wire going up through there? There was an antenna, and that was cheating, I know, but that was back in the day. I was young. It was legal back then. It's not legal now.
This is Robert's full mount bear.
Oh, that's cool. What did that cost, Robert? Is that too personal? That's cool.
How do you preserve the fat? Just put it in the fridge. I wonder if you could bottle it. I wonder if you could water bath it and save it.
We got company. Look at that.
Hey, going on? Whoop.
He fits right in. He's got a beard.
I know.
I tell you.
That's good.
Got off about a foot of
And
it.
his beard's the right color, too.
There you go.
Tell me about those coyotes.
Well, I don't know. These coyotes in '95, we got over 400 head of them. And that was between me and 3 boys and probably 25, 30 dogs. We've not had that kind of success since 95, 97 in there, but it's always consistent. 150, 200 coyotes a year. Right here local around my house, 15-mile diameter probably.
Where are you at again?
Northwest Missouri.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, tell me about how do your races go, or how do your hunts go? How do you do it?
Well, the ideal conditions would be snow, of course. In the summertime, we'll just hit the cornfields because for some reason, as soon as those coyote pups come out of the den, Mama takes them right to the cornfields for mice, I'd say. But the wintertime, we'll usually try to wait till after deer season, at least the rifle season's over. The deer hunters are totally overwhelming here. So we've got to almost back way up into January before we can really swing a big stick. We've got, there's just 2 of us now that's got any hounds. I've probably got the most hounds. I've got 16 now. In '95, I had 250. But
how'd you feed
too
them?
old for that anymore. Well, we had a lot of downer cows, stuff like that. And
yeah,
dog food was cheap then.
Yeah.
You know how it was back then, 95 and the 80s and up. Just went up and up and up. But no, when the snow's on, I'll rig that little Basset cross. He's quarter Basset, quarter Beagle, and half running hound. And
say that again: quarter Basset,
quarter Basset, Beagle. Quarter Beagle, and half running hound.
Running walker.
Yep, running walker. Just an old stock that I'd bred up, and just do a hell of a good job. He's really steppy on a good day. He can hold a track for 5-6 hours and run it just pretty darn good.
When you're running a coyote like that, how fast are they trailing it? I mean, decent conditions, snow or whatever. How fast?
When the snow conditions are just, I guess, excellent, you'll get a steady 10, 15 mile an hour, like a streak across sections. I mean, it's one of those deals you can't shut your truck off. You better keep it in gear and keep going until you can get to the next crossing.
And you just go you have section line roads that you can go?
They're, for the most part, it's mile squares.
Yep.
We'll have some areas around some big public ground that's 15 miles across, and that no roads or anything, but usually you can get through it on private property.
And I mean, you run in one like that, how long does a race last?
Well, we got a few shooters that show up.
So you try to
We'll
you try to get in front of them and shoot them as they're crossing the road.
well, we don't we don't go by that so much because the law states, you cannot shoot from or across the road. So we try to abide by the law as best we
Oh,
can.
man, I understand
And
that.
but anyway, there's a lot of times you'll get a coyote run down pretty good, and he'll start to circle, and a guy can walk in with a shotgun and just sit and wait on him. He'll come right to you.
So that so they start to circle after they get tired. Then they don't
Yeah,
beeline.
and you can tell when a female, young females or older females, they'll tend to stay within 2 or 3 sections and may run pretty hot for just a little bit, and they'll go to circling quick. Now, when the breeding time comes, the old males they'll line out, and they may shoot a 15-mile straight. Just I mean
Wow,
beeline as straight as they can drive, and it takes a heck of a dog to catch one of those.
I bet. I bet. So I mean, when they slow down, before they slow down and start circling, do you have? I mean, is it quite a race? I mean, a long ways and a lot of time, an hour, two
You,
hours, or is it all
if
different?
you and it depends if they belly down, kind of like your lions. If they've got a big belly, they don't want to go a long ways. You may have a race if they've been feeding hard. Oh, some races will last 15 minutes, and the dogs will put them in a hole or a pond tube or even a structure tube, whatever. But a lot of your races can average an hour and a half, 2 hours, I would say, on
But
on a good day.
that's a jumped race though.
Oh, that's a hot. That's a
Yeah,
that's a smoking hot race. I do a lot of free casting, as you boys call it, and I do too. I call it the same thing, but uh, jump dogs. We love a jump dog when you can just turn 3 dogs, 4 dogs loose, throw them into a section. When they start to bark, they're on a coyote. And a lot of my dogs don't do a lot of cold trailing, which that's what you need as far as I'm concerned. You need a dog that knows how to cold trail before he can just jump and be, crazy
sure.
fast. Got to have a head. Got to have a head. His nose is number one. Trackability, straddle the track and handle it. I've got older dogs here out of my old grade line that they can wind a track 50, 60 feet off to the side on a high wind and handle it.
Yeah.
And I've got other dogs that just drag their nose, but they can move. They can
Well, that
move.
I mean that's so much different between the bear races and the coyote races and everything between a lion race. I mean, a lion is 90% cold trail, and then you got a little 10% jumped race most of the time, and
Right.
it's just not. It's a whole different deal like that. But fast, if I hunted coyotes with stag hounds for a long time, and to be able to, I mean, it fascinate me to be able to trail one up to where you could have some stags that would jump on them and run them down and catch them. I mean, that would
A
be,
long time ago. See, out in Kansas, they still use the greyhounds quite a bit and stags. Even
yep,
south of Missouri, they use stags a lot. But we tried that up here. It's a little bit too rolling hills. We got a lot of brush and timber with some
yep.
slow rolling hills. But we had an incident one time. Well, I'm talking about the back in the '70s, and one of the boys brought a greyhound out, and he put him on a coyote. Well, when the dog went down in a low spot and came up, there was a calf walked out in the clearing, and that
Ooh,
dog tackled that calf. And
yeah.
yeah, that was a kind of expensive deal. And we decided right there, no, we're not going to do the sight hounds no more.
That's a problem with a sight hound. If it runs from them, you know, they get sighted on it. It's hard to break them off of that.
Yeah, everything I've got. I switched over to Triggs the last couple of years, and these dogs I've got now are just really good little track hounds. They're
Why
not
why'd you
what you'd call a speed demon.
why'd you change to Triggs?
Well, my old line, Walker July crosses, that's what I always went by, and I love them. They never gave any issues. You could do anything with them. I mean, they listen to you like an adult would listen to you, not like a little kid, but more of an adult. I mean, they have
Yeah,
real good common sensibility, and we uh we kind of got to breeding out of that old line and got away from it a little bit, uh, trying to get too much speed and drive, and got away from the trackability, and that was a bad move.
yeah.
So I got acquainted with a guy up in Wisconsin. guy by the name of Pete Peck, and he'd won the nationals a time or two, Trig Nationals, and everybody said he had some good little track dogs. So I went up and got acquainted with him, and I'll be dang, the first pair of females I brought down here at 6 months old, they had their own track going, and was just could catch the coyotes, but they weren't quite big enough to be able to fight them face to face. But they did their job. I mean, everything I've had ever since then from up in that bloodline has just been a real good deal.
So do your hounds? Do they learn to throat those coyotes pretty good? Throat them and chest them.
Well, that yes and no. You it takes a real good dog. You know, I know all kinds of guys say, "Oh, I've got a dog that'll do this and do that." A lot of that's smoke and mirrors because it takes one whale of a dog to go in there and lock faces with a big old male. It's one thing to be a young and dumb one or a little female, but you get a big old male coyote. I mean, that's pretty tough.
Oh man, yeah, I had those. Those big stag hounds. I had. They weighed 85 to 100 pounds and could run 40 miles an hour, and they run down a coyote. And I've watched those coyotes do it a bunch of times. Run down that big old Appaloosa dog I have. Man, he could kill. I mean, he could throw the coyote, and then that poke dog I had would fight the chest. He'd get on the chest, but they'd be so tired by the time they finally got that coyote caught. Then they sit there like that, breathing. That coyote would play dead for a little while, and then he'd get up and run again.
Gasping for air. It wears them out bad. I've got 2 or 3 dogs out there. They'll all grab a corner, and then of course that's all it takes. The rest of them pile on.
Hey, Gene,
how many dogs do you run at a time?
I'll if it's early in the morning and I'm just by myself, I'll turn 3 loose to jump, and just let them work it, and find a track. And I've got my old dogs now. They don't boohoo around a lot. They may cold trail, but they won't bark until it starts to warm up.
Yeah,
I mean they just do a heck of a job. Now
do you like
I'll just
that
keep
better?
adding.
Do you like a more silent dog better?
I do. I don't want him out there babbling and boohooing.
Telling them you're coming. Yeah.
I can look at that GPS, and when he starts to circle, and you can tell when they start working on that GPS what he's acting like, and you can almost count to the second. You're going to say to yourself, he's just about to say something, and that's what'll happen. They'll start talking.
Do you have one of those big deals like Cody King has?
I've got just the old Drive Track 70 on mine. I've graduated to the alphas there a few years ago, alpha 100s a few years ago, and they work really good. I've had one of them go boinkers on me, so I'm going to go up to the 300, I think. But
I got a 3.
Well,
Cody's got one of those, and it's bigger than my television set in my house, I think.
I know, aren't those?
And he can read that thing. He can sit there and he watches and he says which dog's doing what, and he's sharp at it.
Yeah. I like that Track 70. I could do the same thing with it, but it's just not as big as what you're talking about.
Yeah. I had one of those for a while.
Do you know Chad Pup Vernier in Northwest Missouri?
No, I don't believe I do.
Well, Rick Cooley was asking. So
there's several boys around here. We've got 10 miles in each direction. You could probably throw a stick at some other boys that's got dogs, and got some down around Fawcett, some around Pattonsburg, Ridgeway. I don't know. There's several over east of Trenton. It's a pretty big community down here, but not too many of them. I don't know. You were talking about the other day. They don't gel well or don't play well with others. Some of them don't. So it's more of a personal thing. It's nothing to do with dogs. It's just a way of personally hunting. Some boys don't even like to shoot them around here. I don't mind it. I've got young dogs, and if you don't put some hair in their mouths, they're not going to do anything.
Hunting coyotes always fascinated me. Growing up on a ranch and everything out in that ranching community, it was just a war on coyotes. And I mean, it was a war we never could win. And
right,
man, if I could go out and catch 50 coyotes a year, I'd have a whole kennel full of coyote dogs.
Well, that's pretty easy. I can do that just sitting here on the front room porch. I live right in the middle of nowhere. and dead end road. I let my young dogs run loose until they're a year old. I'll start them on foxes and rabbits here around the house. And at any given time, I can go out and sit in the porch swing and have a race going.
What's your terrain like over there? You got a lot of foliage, flatland, hills.
I'm sitting on the edge of kind of prairie ground. North of me, it's good and flat for 4 or 5 miles straight. Then it'll drop off into some real nice, rugged, heavy timber, uh, big sections of brush, a lot of agricultural land, and it drops off into rolling hills. You just got a wide variety. You can't even, I can't even describe it unless you just got to see it for yourself. I've got buddies out in Wyoming and Idaho and all over the country, and they come out here and are just amazed by it. It's not big country; it's just a whole lot of nice country.
Holds a lot of game.
Oh, I'm telling you, the deer population is just stupid. I mean, we're just probably some kind of a pandemic within the deer away from having a nightmare. They're just
What's your hunting season like for deer? How many tags they let you have?
well, the last few years it's one doe and one any deer, so you can kill a buck and a doe or two does.
And that's per year. That's it. In
That
Mississippi, don't they? Isn't there a month where you can get a doe a day or every other day or something?
right, and we need to visit that, but nobody wants to kill those does. They've all been on the on what do you call it? The publicity is all on the big buck places, like
Everybody
Pike,
wants.
Illinois, and now the big hot spot is Northwest Missouri. Kill a big buck. Neighbor over here northwest of my house, a mile and a half, 2 miles, killed a 232 2 years ago. I parked my wife's car up under him the night before he got shot, and he was a huge deer. Now that's all over the news. Everybody wants to come shoot one of those.
Oh yeah, you shoot a big one and you say where you shot it. Everybody's there.
Have you ever taken
Exactly.
your dogs and gone to other states or anything and ran coyotes?
Not coyotes so much. I do go up when I go to Wisconsin. That guy up there has got a good place to run coyotes, but I don't. I mean, there's just no need to go anywhere for coyotes now. My my bloodline, on my dogs, I crossed. I don't know if I've told you this before or not, but I crossed a Schooner River tree and walker back to an old July cross running dog 20 years ago, and came up with some just Jim Dandy little blanket back dogs. And Chris Burrows, I showed you a picture of there earlier. Chris did. He took two of those females and turned them into probably two of the best bear bobcat dogs that's probably ever lived. He goes up in New Mexico and Wisconsin, did a little bit down in Oklahoma. He travels all over, young man. Him and my boy work together. Just a real good young man, and got some real good dogs.
That's cool. What else was it? How about, do you have foxes in that country?
Yeah, a funny story on that. That right here where I'm at, the foxes were not all that prevalent. But 20 miles, 25 miles south and east here, my home place where I grew up, my dad had chickens 35, 40 years ago before he passed, and he was just bombarded with foxes. Well, I got busy and got to trapping them in live traps and catching them, and I was just packing foxes in here by the trainloads and turning them loose. And I don't think my neighbors liked it too good because they lost a lot of chickens, but I told them, I said, you're having trouble with them foxes. Don't shoot them. I'll come up and I'll catch them. So I bring them right down to my house about a quarter mile back and just turn them loose.
I'll be dang. You pull a hide on your coyotes?
They're not worth anything anymore around here.
But back in the 80s or 70s and 80s, I mean.
70, 80, even up into the 90s, you could get, you saw some $45 blondies. They were pretty common.
Back in the late 70s, early 80s, you could get, $75, $80 for some of these coyotes around here. And I say around here, that's in northern New Mexico. I didn't live around here at that time. Yeah.
Right. Now the coons in 78, we had coon prices here got to $68 a piece for a nice black shiny. And I paid for brand new 78 Chevy short box and had money in my pocket for the property tax on it.
That's something. But I always wanted to catch enough coyotes to, and that, of course, those staghounds get a hold of them, they tear them up pretty bad. But have me,
Right.
I seen a guy wearing a coyote coat one time. I thought,
Oh, that's pretty.
long down to his knees. That was the coolest looking thing I ever seen.
I always wanted a coyote blanket. I think it takes like 20 coyotes to make you a nice little blanket. I always wanted
Oh, a bedspread. Just take all your clothes off and lay in the middle of it.
Yeah, and then take all the tails and lay them around.
Coyote hide's nice. I mean, I like the fur on one of those things.
Right. Well, you find somebody to sew one up, and I'll send you a truckload of hides.
I will, man. We make a deal.
We don't have much around here, but we don't go hungry. I've got a place that we can put you up, and if you want to spend 3 or 4 days on the snow,
I'd like to do that. I really would. That really fascinating. A lot more than bears. Some reason Chris and all these bear hunters, I don't know, but something about coyotes. I think because I was raised, I mean, that's what we did when we were kids. Of course, we didn't have the dogs, but I called coyotes from the time I was in 8th grade. And then the ranchers, like I said, that was the big thing we did. We'd all load up in a truck and drive around and just shoot coyotes when we could get onto them. But it was a big deal.
Right.
Yeah, we did a lot of coyote hunting. And the farmers let you hunt? They kind of let you shoot the coyotes? Because a lot of them farmers are like, well, they keep the gophers down.
Well, we don't have so much the gopher problem, but I'm kind of living in like a golden triangle. I probably live in the most perfect situation. It's took me for near 50 years to get everybody kind of sociable, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. But now you get a few of these small acreages bought up by out-of-state people. Those people are still kind of ouchy, so I'm kind of still trying to cozy up to some of those. But they're not big property owners. They've got 5, 10, 15 acres, and they think they own the whole section. But Missouri still has a dog has the right to pass. So as long as they stay on the feed carrots, it's good.
I got to correct Tim here. I'm not bad mouthing. You guys are just tougher than I am.
Stupider, maybe.
I ran those bears. Of course, I didn't have very good bear dogs, and I looked for dogs all the time.
I tell myself I'm not going to run bear, and then I run bear every year. And then the winter comes. I go down south, Arizona, and it's nice weather. And I was just down there a couple weeks ago, and the mornings were nice. I'm like, man.
Right.
Chris almost had me talked into it this year. I was gonna go catch a bear. I was gonna go see if these terrorists would run a bear. And I know they'll run one because they'll run just about everything. But they filled the quota right away. So I thought, well, and honestly, I live in terrible lion country. I mean, our densities are really thin. And then if you do get on one, the trailing conditions are awful. And then even during November, December, it gets hot. You run out of dog power about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So,
yeah, but you're going to better country this year.
I'm rigged up. I got my tent on my truck and big dog box and my trailer set up. I got a mule and a pack mule. I want to go to some better country.
Yep.
But that's if everything works out the way it should.
Yeah.
I got plans. Anyway,
Chris has got all my information. I think if you ever need to, and if he needs some more money to put towards what they're doing out there,
Gene's the one who sent $250 to help out with the hound stuff over in Arizona.
I'll be damned. Thank you. We need to, Chris. This is it. We've got an invite right there. Mm-hmm. Drive over to my house from Arizona. We'll jump in my truck and we'll take off and go to Missouri. And we'll we'll take our video stuff, and that would be fun.
That would be fun.
And if you didn't want to drive, I can come down to Kansas City and pick you up at the airport.
We could do that too. I got a lot of free airline tickets.
Brett does.
I do. Because I ran my business on a credit card for years and years, and I got all these airline tickets. And I always tell my wife, I said, "Well, there's no place they won't let me load those dogs on an airplane." So. I don't fly.
Yeah, if you need to, Chris can give you my information on my address and all that, and just Google it up and you'll see right on when the Google Maps comes up, it it looks
Take you
pretty
somewhere
rough
else.
around my house. It looks pretty rough around my house. I've got a lot of iron and stuff.
You got that iron disease too, like Chris has.
Oh
Oh
my God,
boy.
rusty assitis or something. I don't know.
I,
You know,
I
I
say
don't
that
have that.
you should see my place. I have no room to talk. Just ask my wife.
I don't. I did a drone shot from the top. And my son, to put himself through college, so we shut down our scrap yard, and he still did scrap. So he picked up all the, air conditioning companies I had and ran with it. And he has a little corner in the yard, and I did a drone shot. Just look, I think I sent it to Brett a while back, but man, you see all the vehicles. I'm a Dodge guy. So anytime
Yeah,
someone came in with the scrap car, 60s, 70s Dodges, I got a bunch of 80s, 90s Dodges too. But I got a 48 Power Wagon. Like I just got a bunch of old Dodges. I probably got 40 vehicles in my yard, if not more.
See
that sounds about the equivalent to me.
now we need
Mm-hmm.
donations to go to Missouri and do a sit down
Mm-hmm.
interview with him, and then film
Yep.
some hunts. That would be cool. Use the
Yeah.
drones and fly over, and man, it'd be
And see,
fun.
the good thing about it, most everywhere around here is mile squares, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all high traveled roads, of course, but it's good, easy access. And like Chris was asking about the farmers, I've got a green light on 95% of all the places, so we can drive right through a section and be legal.
Cool.
That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be a good trip. We're gonna plan.
Yep.
It's
What's
fast.
the best time of year to go?
Any time on the snow, mid January to mid February, maybe even up into March.
Having their
It,
pups too.
it's
Well, see that's about mid February to the 1st of March. They're breeding
Mm-hmm.
right then, and that's when you'll
Really?
find those. Yeah, those satellite males will come in here about the middle of February to the 1st of March, and those satellite males, there might be 15 of them run out of a section, and it's like hitting a rack of 8 ball. They'll go everywhere.
I'll be damned.
I don't think people believe that. See, our breeding season kicks in about October, November. So they'll breed. They'll
Right.
start breeding early. So they're having their pups January, February, whatever. But you'll get same thing.
Ours,
I know all the farmers here, and you'll get into one of them big fields that no one's took care of for a while, is tumbleweeds. And you'll jump,
right,
this is no lie, 12, 15 coyotes out of there.
right. See, our pups, when the pups start coming out of the den, will be about turkey season, so they'll be 3 to 6 weeks old, and they'll start coming out in the open.
When's your deer seasons?
Our rifle season will pick up the second week of November, to what, the 13th, 14th, somewhere around in there. Archery opens September 15th. Yeah, it's open now. So
So
we're
what's the relationship between your deer hunters and your hound guys, especially your coyote hounds? Those deer hunters gotta love you hound guys because you're killing the coyotes that are killing the fawn.
well, the only problem we have right now is the outfitters are starting to buy up properties, and they've got a lot of out-of-state hunters come in here, and they absolutely have no idea about a hound. Now, with that being said, I keep everything shut up tight from September 15th till almost January 1st. And if I do any running, it's probably going to be in a pen or at night. And I just go out of my way to know that something could happen to your dog out there, because there's some people in there that don't understand.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Now we do coon hunt quite a bit in those areas that are being hunted, and they're still killing those 230-inch deer right where we run dogs.
What do you a different set of dogs for running coons?
Oh yeah,
You got some
tree and walkers.
tree and walkers.
Well, of course, I'm tree and walker. You got a couple of boys around that's got the black and tans and the blue ticks and all that, but I started walkers when I was a kid, and that's about everything I've stuck with. I've had a few red ticks that were real good dogs. And them walkers, I don't know, they're different. They're different
I think
altogether. They're quicker.
I think it's like when if your dad drives a Ford and you grew up with a Ford, or he drives a Dodge or Chevy. If you grew up with walkers or blue ticks, I think it's kind of Kind of how it goes too
That's
sometimes.
It's
that.
it's hereditary.
Mhm.
There's some truth to that, but I don't know. I've had a million of each one of them, but that walkers seem like they start a lot quicker and a little more accurate, maybe. I think the only reason they're more accurate is because once they get jumped and get warmed up, they're right there on him. Hardly ever make a mistake. Once they get him close to that tree, they're right on him.
How about bobcats? Do you catch many bobcats?
Now, I don't catch many unless the snow's on and the dogs just happen to jump one. My running dogs, of course. Christopher, the one I sent the picture of the bear, he's a consummate bobcat guy. He prowls around here. He'll be roading dogs right now like crazy, and the temperature's starting to come down a little bit. We're getting that less humid air. We had some good rain yesterday. It was dry enough there for a while. There was cracks in the ground. You could lose a small child, and that's all. That's all starting to heal up.
What's it? What has it cost for an out-of-state hunter for coyotes?
Well, all you need is your small game permit, and I'm not sure on the price on that. I think it was like $50. I'm not gonna. Don't quote me, but it's next to nothing.
Gotcha.
If you can't afford it, I'll cover you.
I'll just tell Brett I forgot my wallet.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Do you take checks?
Deal. Good deal. Neat stuff. We don't talk about coyotes much on here. You know, when you're a
Well,
lion hunter and you talk about chasing deer with dogs, it makes you cringe. When you talk about chasing coyotes with dogs, it makes you cringe. You know,
When you talk about
yeah.
chasing bears with dogs, it makes you cringe.
some people.
I don't cringe on any of it. If those boys down there in the South want to run those deer, that's great. If you want to run a javelina, that's great. Hogs, I don't care. Just get a hound out there and get them to work.
Yeah. Yep. And
I
get the
seen that
right tool
2024
for the
World
job.
Coon Hound Championship was going on. I don't know nothing about coon hounds, Dandy, and I'm honestly, to be honest, I'm not super interested in it because I don't. Arizona's not or New Mexico really. We're not coon states, man.
They do. They have some
Yeah,
competitions, I guess, up there and everything. And I mean, back a long time ago, I ran some coons and stuff. We get quite a few of them down here on these pecan fields and stuff. There's some big drainage ditches, and then the river goes through there, and then big pecan fields, and there's quite a few coons down there. And I used to go down there, but the problem with that, it happens in the middle of the night.
yeah. But in the old days, I was running the creeks and be at work at 5, be out till midnight, 2 o'clock. And I don't know. My dog food bucket always spilled out across the creek, and it was always gone the next night. So
Yeah.
and then when you get into hunting lions, like I think if you're hunting bears, you'll hunt coons, but when you get into hunting lions, especially dry ground lions,
Well, how
a
do you
lot of
guys
stuff.
just set on dog food? Is dog food pretty easy to find out there and at a good price?
No.
I just use Diamond, the high energy Diamond.
That's what I feed the maroon sack.
And it's usually available Tractor Supply, which should sponsor us, as much as I spend there at stinking dog food. But I'll do sometimes is I was feeding retriever, then they had some problems. But what I've been doing when I'm not running so much is I'll buy some of that energy retriever, the protein, and I'll mix it with my Diamond and just kind of.
Right.
But when I'm running hard, like this week, not this weekend. This weekend we're going to we're going to the Bighorn Sheep Society. Look at that. 20 ticket. $1,800 right here.
Did you invite me to go or no?
I told you. You said, if you get a second table, I go. And I said, yeah. And I text you and I said, or the other time I said, hey, Red Cabin Outfitters bought a table. Like for kids. Remember I was telling you I'm going to sit you at the table, the big. Yeah, but it'd be funny, a big guy, redhead guy, and
with a bunch
all
of
the
little
kids
bitty guys sitting all around me.
And you handle kids better than adults.
I do. I like kids.
So I do have a couple extra seats if you want to go next Saturday.
Oh, next Saturday.
Here we go.
Uh,
I'll just text Tammy, say, hey, tell Brett he
Yeah.
has to go.
I would like to go, but I tell you what, if I had, what kind of dog food do you feed, Gene?
Well, I've ran the gamut of all of them that's available in my area. I've done the Diamond, got along good with Diamond. Had a little bit of a messy kennel, of course. You had to really regulate that. But here, as of the last 2 years, I have stumbled onto Showtime 2420. Showtime makes a 2720. It's a little bit hot. You get a little bit of a messy kennel, but that 2420 black bag formula, I can't say enough good stuff about it. I mean, I really minimal feed in the pan, and you don't see a mess. And when you do, it's solid.
That's worth a ton right there. Well,
Yeah, and I buy by the ton. I'm having a hard time getting it on a consistent level. The the guy I get it from, it comes from Georgia. So by the time it gets to Missouri, it's traded 5 or 6 hands, and each guy wants a bit of money. And I was kind of complaining about that there one day, and then I talked to some other guys up in Iowa, and those boys, wow, I don't know how they can afford it. It was like $15 a bag higher than what I'm paying, and I don't know. That's crazy.
Do you mind?
What is
sharing
the
what you pay?
Diamond over there, Brett? What's your Diamond?
I think it's like $34 a bag. Does that sound right?
God dang, mine's 38.
34, maybe. I could be wrong.
Mhm.
What happens is my wife calls down there and orders it and pays for it, and me or my grandson show up and pick it up, and
Yep.
and that's what we do. And I buy some dog food for my dad and everything too. He's got some dogs over there.
Who
But I
makes
tell you what,
Showtime?
I liked Value Pack. I mean, those guys, dealing with the Value Pack guy was super good. He was nice to me, and as long as we had a distributor here, he was sponsoring me, and I could get free dog food, which is, as everybody knows, has Hounds. That's worth a lot. But
Oh my!
everybody, of course, I could offer them. I offered them, sponsorship on my Born 100 Years Too Late, and then for the interview, stories and tales, and then also for the podcast. And so I thought it was a pretty good deal for everybody. They get a lot of word out and everything, but they don't. They lost the little company that was handling it here. They were just a little old shop, and they didn't last very long. And now there's nobody that sells it here. And I've tried to, talk to Inukshuk and what's another one, the High Standard, and
Premium which one?
there's another one that W Hunting Supply that they sponsor through W Hunting Supply. And I tried to, I talked to all of them. They were all, oh yeah, we're going to pass this along, and then I never hear anything back from them. So I just buy.
There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of coon boys, coon treers. They're into that joy dog food. My uncle fed that field trial years and years ago, and he got along good with it. But I myself, I'd stick to that 2420 in that Showtime. I'm going to stand behind it. I'll feed 3 tons of that a year.
I'd get rid of all my dogs before I fed Joy.
I'm kind of along the same lines, and there's been almost came to fisticuffs over that kind of language, but I'll stand behind it.
Yeah, I don't.
It's all about attitude sometimes. Brett's trying to get dog food sponsors. I'm trying to get Coors Light and Toyota Tundra.
I'm small, but I'm small potatoes.
I'm emailing Donald Trump saying, "Hey, you want to run a hound?
We'll promote you for president if you'll sponsor us."
We know your son does. So, and we don't do canned hunts, so we're good.
There you go. There you go.
Nah, dog food's kind of. Well, Joy is High Standard too, right? Same factory.
Yeah, I think they're the same. Come out of the same factory. That other one, I can't remember the name of it. Oh well, I talked to the guy. He was a real nice guy.
Man, when I first got in, and I'll tell you a little thieving story too. When I first got into the dogs. I was
Yeah,
feeding
there's only
old
100
Roy.
people. There's only 100 people in here watching. 105 right now. So
Yeah,
tell
that's
your
fine.
story.
This was a long time ago, and Walmart got smart to it.
Statute of limitations is run out.
Yeah. So I fed old Roy, and I didn't have a problem. I wasn't worried about how big their dog crap was. I was just running dogs and buying cheap, and my whole theory back then is I would just double feed them if I was running hard. Feed them in the morning, feed them at night, when we were out like really in the bad areas. But back
Right.
then, Walmart had the stickers, so that they had 20-pound bags dog food, and they had the 50-pound bags. And so all you had to do is pull that little sticker off that 20-pound bag, throw it on that 50-pound bag, and scan it. Then they got smart to it. So yeah.
You
Trevin
got to start
Hall.
doing that at the grocery store.
Trevin Hall said, next level. That's the one that is through W Hunting Supply. And I talked to the guy. He was a real nice guy. And I should say that I talked to the guy from High Standard. And he was good. Him and I talked for probably 30 minutes on the phone. And they just said they couldn't do anything right now. So, he was pretty straight up with me. The guy from, I'm not going to, I won't even say it. So, the other company we were talking about, they just treated me like I was
pissed
an
Brett
idiot.
off pretty good.
It don't take a whole lot either.
It don't take much either.
I admit
Pissed
it.
off at me every day.
You guys tell a story once in a while. I hear you talk about how you got started. My start when I was a kid, and I mean a young kid, like late 60s, and my uncle and some of his friends had foxhounds, and he was an old man at that time. And my job was down there around Hickory area, had long ridges. Some of them ridges would be 7-8 miles straight, and then they'd fall off into big rolling hills and lots of big timber. Nobody ever logged back in those days. And I would go down those ridges, and about every quarter mile, I'd build a campfire. Just ahead of time, I'd build the wood up for the campfire, and then go to another quarter mile, and I'd build another big campfire site. And I did that from the time I was about 6 years old up. And on the Saturday or Friday nights, we'd go out, he'd turn dogs loose, and they'd run down those ridges or down the hollers. And you just move a quarter mile on down, you'd always be in earshot, and you'd always have a campfire.
I'll be
and it went downhill from there.
How old are you? How old are you, Gene?
I'm only 58, and I'm pretty young in comparison to what some of my family was. They brought some of the first top foxhounds from Kentucky, Girard County, Kentucky, in 1840, and I've had hounds in my family ever since.
That's cool. That's cool.
Maybe it was in my blood from back east, because I got family from Missouri. My grandfather's family's from Missouri. So if you know any Watsons back there, might be related.
I know a ton of Watsons.
They got a lot of money.
They are wealthy beyond belief.
Those are probably my family. I will come see you. Just introduce me. I'll just run up to everyone and say, "Hey, Dad," and see who accepts me.
Yeah, there you go. The best Watsons I remember is a couple of them are passed away, but they were good as gold people. I mean, really salt of the earth.
They must be related to Chris. They got to be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, that's cool. Mad. No, that running coyotes with hounds, that would be fun. I think, especially the way you do it, that would be fun.
I always wanted to get into it. And I never did. I wanted to have 2 or 3 greyhounds, and I wanted to get on my big thoroughbred fast race track horse. And it's all farm where I grew up. It's all farms. I mean, the thing you have to jump is a little canal ditch, irrigation ditch. It's no big deal. I jumped those in my truck half the time chasing coyotes. So, and I just never did.
I enjoyed the heck out of it. I got down there down by Mexico. I got where I just at first I started out with when the Fox Pro calls. Well, prior to the Fox Pro calls even coming out, I made my own electronic collar. It was an MP3 player connected to a Johnny Stewart converticall. You had to have a wheel. You had to have a wheelbarrow to get it out there. Matter of fact, Dutch Salmon. I don't know if you guys know about him. Him and I hunted together. He had staghound or greyhounds, sight hounds. And then when the Fox Pros came out, I started using the Fox Pro. And I'd go into these big open areas, and I'd put that call, hang it in a mesquite tree, and then I'd back up into the mesquites, and those dogs would sit there and look, and then try to lure a coyote to come out enough into the open where they could get sighted real good and go get him caught. And then down close to Mexico, it was the best day I've ever had. I think it was 3 or 4 coyotes. And of course, with those sight hounds, you run a couple coyotes, they're pretty toasted. They didn't.
Right.
They weren't good for a whole, and I had like 6 or 7 of them, something like that. But yeah, and I got down there. I would just carry that Fox Pro on my saddle. I had a little rope tied to it, and I'd hang it from the saddle horn, and I'd turn it on. It and I'd just ride along. Pretty soon you could see a coyote. He'd pop out, coming out just to, he didn't have to come in. They just had to come out enough where you could get sighted, and then the race was on.
Well, this coyote thing around here, the hounds and stuff, it's almost the exact same hunting as you do. It's just on a faster level.
Oh yeah, I mean
if you have the room to do it, if you have the room, the area. That's how it was down south. It would have been good because it was all open fields, and when they get in there and tear that cotton down or plow them fields up and laser them out, they were flat. I mean, flat. And there was a lot of old fields that the round fields were the funnest ones. They got the pivot fields.
Yeah.
Right.
I caught quite a few coyotes out on the pivots in Uvas Valley. We caught some.
So we don't have that sight game. This is all good country where you better have a nose on a dog. Once he gets out of sight, it can be in some pretty rough country. I mean, we don't have mountains, of course, but our elevation, that's right at 1,000 feet at any given time. And you may see that go down to 300 feet. You may see it go up to 1,400 feet. But it stays in that 1,000 feet all the time.
This big old Appaloosa dog I had, let's see if I can find a picture of him. He would run a coyote on, scent, but he couldn't run it fast enough to do any good with it. You know what I mean? The coyote just kind of hit a long trot. And our conditions are so dry. I mean, you just can't. It's not possible. I don't believe. I mean, maybe there is a dog somewhere that could do it, but I would put my money.
I'd put my money on this little Duke dog that I've got, the one that's a quarter Basset. He's just amazing whenever the tracking's bad or things are hard. And if we get a lot of ice where everything's covered up, you can turn him loose, and he's always got a race.
And I'll be dang. I mean, I know my dogs will trail coyotes now. I mean, but when I figure out it's a coyote, I reprimand them pretty good.
And that's when I cringe.
That makes you cringe, yeah.
Oh my, I recently sent some dogs out to Idaho, and a young man took them out there, and he asked me, he said, "What will they do?" I said, "They don't know anything but coyotes, but they're a little too fast for me." And he said, "Well, I need a good fast dog for bears." So he took them out there, put them on bears, and first day he just shocked the piss out of them for running coyotes. He was having a heck of a time, and finally he got them broke off of coyotes, and they wasn't doing too bad on mountain lions. Sent me lots of video of lions they'd treed, and then when bear season come, he was running good. But this last dog, he got a little too close to a bear and got slapped, and that pretty much ruined him. He said he was about done. He just about tore his head off.
That's that big Appaloosa dog I had.
Wow.
He was a big old rough dude. See that dog box right there? Did you see in the back? You had that light on the back of your truck where you hit the brakes and the red light came on up above on the cab.
Right.
Well, my brother-in-law built, and I always teased him. We always teased each other. I called him Pussy Boy, and just calling, it's like calling each other a sissy. Well, he built that dog box for me, that jump box for me, and he cut out right there. It said Pussy Boy, and when you hit the brakes, that thing lit up bright red.
Don't drive it to the bar, huh?
Yeah,
don't use your brakes.
Yeah.
Well, heck, Gene,
Yeah,
we
there's
appreciate you taking some time jumping on
Yeah.
with us
Thanks for
too.
dropping
yeah.
in, man.
I'll bail off here and let you guys get back to the real work and
Yeah,
and
we're just
glad
BSing.
glad to be on. If you guys get a wild hair, you just get a hold of me and we'll work something out.
We will. I appreciate
I
that.
know.
Thanks for dropping in. That was informative. I always like to hear how other people do things.
Well, it's a
I've
little different. It's a different chasing coyotes. We don't talk about it too much. We do every once in a while, but to get someone on here that does it, pretty cool.
I
right,
should say
right.
we do trail them probably more often than I want to admit.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Yeah,
don't do it
we
on
have a big
purpose.
time. We have a big time out here. We got lots of stories, and I could talk for days. So I'm going to get off here now before I start again.
Oh, well, thanks for stopping in. That was
Yep.
great.
Thanks for having me. We'll see you. Bye.
You bet.
No problem.
Gene,
Thanks,
thank you.
Gene.
Man, what a gem right there.
Yep. Oh, he just contacted me and was like, "I'm sending you some money because we've been through that 30 years ago, and take that money, and I don't care what you do with it. If you need to put gas in your truck to go to an event, if you need to buy a ticket for a table." So I got that. I still have it, and I'm like, I don't want to just blow it on nothing. I want to do something with that, that money. So he says my feed bill is $7,500 a year, so 250 ain't nothing.
Thank you, Missy. But anyway, I hope I didn't offend anybody with that. That
Pussy
red
boy.
Yeah, it
Oh,
didn't mean it didn't mean anything, but you're a sissy. You're just a big
yeah.
sissy.
Oh yeah. Well, if it
That's
did, don't be a pussy boy about it.
I know.
There's other hey, there's other lives and podcasts you can
Well,
listen to.
I don't even think about it being bad to some people. You know what I mean? It just
Oh
doesn't
God,
mean anything to me.
that word in my house is part of the language.
Do we have
So
any more pictures? I see a picture of an alligator or something here you sent me. What's that all about?
it's a video, I think. Jeremy sent it. He said, wow, what did he say?
He's a big one. Look at those sores on his.
Dispatch, set up at the 172 eastbound.
I mean,
What's the oldest? Let me see.
I was listening to Joe
Yeah, they
Rogan,
live a while.
and he said that I think it was crocodiles or something. They don't die
Uh,
of old age, like Joe Rogan knows.
I'm gonna Google it up.
Google it up.
I could call. What I need to do. What I need to do is call my buddy. I call Google every time we have a question. We'll do like those game shows. They say you can make one call. He knows who I'm talking about. His wife. They just was over here putting water in their truck last night, or in their putting water in there. They haul water, so they come and got some water.
Here we
And
go.
she
We can make a trip. We can
laughing.
make a road trip. Go live every night. When you come through Oklahoma, stop by and we'll go coyote hunting. There you go.
We could do a big circle. We'll call it the big circle.
The big circle. Anecdote of a houndsman and interview stories
Yeah.
on trails. Hit the road.
Okay, listen. We need money not only for gas but for bail.
Yeah,
We need
well,
bail money too.
we get to traveling too far, we're liable to get in trouble.
Oh yeah, that's a big long answer. I was looking for a short answer. Let me see.
We got 2 thumbs down now.
Yeah, because you said pussy boy, maybe.
Like I said, it doesn't mean anything to me, just that you're a sissy. That was our way of calling each other a sissy.
Let me see. 50 years. Alligators typically live around 50 years in the wild. Can live much longer in captivity. So,
Google, do crocodiles die of old age?
Yes, crocodiles can die of old age, but they age more slowly than other species and experience a lack of normal aging called negligible senescence. Let me see. In the wild, most crocodiles probably don't live past 60. But, let me see. Okay, so the world's largest crocodile in captivity is estimated to be around 120 years old.
I knew they lived a long time.
Well, they shut their metabolism down when they hibernate.
Do they
Right?
hibernate? Is that what you call it?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a
Or
crocodile guy. I know
brumate
what a
or
bear
whatever.
does, and it ain't hibernate.
You send money to
They
my
brood.
wife, I might not ever. She might leave me.
Yeah.
I've already lost
Yeah.
one.
You come through Oklahoma, stop by, and we'll.
Cool. What else do we got, Mr. Chris?
This weekend, I got my rubbing elbows. Hey, we're houndsmen, and we're coming to your town. Arizona Desert Bighorn Sheep Society Ram recognition. This ain't the big one, but I don't want to come in and crash the big party yet. That's going to be in the spring, and I'm going to start hitting some of these events and letting these people know that we're not putting up with their shit.
I think that's a good idea. What? So that's this Saturday? That deal you're going to?
Yes, September 28th, this Saturday. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm about 20 miles north of I-40. I'm about 30, 40 miles south of I-40, just in another state. Might be 55 miles, actually, from
You're in
my
Sholo,
house.
right?
Yeah, from my house to Holbrook, close to Sholo. I can't disclose because of my undercover responsibilities.
I want to everybody know where you're at. They'll be knocking the way you on the phone. They'll be knocking on your door wanting to eat dinner with you.
Well, just don't come at night. My dogs aren't very friendly at night. Big old pit bull runs around my yard killing coyotes and
anything else that gets in there.
Oh, you can hear some good coyote fights out there. I got that Catahoua, that one blue-eyed dog that sneaks in I'm surprised she's not in here at night. So you hear them out there, just them coyotes, they'll get mad and start doing their stupid bark, and them dogs go out there.
I know. They come through my yard all the time, yipping and getting my dogs riled up.
Tierra, ask your husband. Tara is the guy's wife that I call Google. And then he texts and he goes, "Oh man, I don't look at Google. I look it up on YouTube." So I said, I told his wife last night, I'm gonna start calling him YT. So.
YouTube is the second largest search engine, I think, but YouTube is owned by Google.
Oh, is it?
Yep, it surely is. And then
That's
you have Meta or whatever, and that's owned by, that's Facebook and Instagram.
I don't like that Meta AI crap keeps popping up on my phone. Drives me crazy.
TikTok, I don't like TikTok, and
I
mess around with Instagram because you can post pictures and stuff there, and I post a little short video every now and then.
I don't know why we don't start using Twitter or X to start posting all that stuff.
I got a
me too
X account, but I've posted some years back. I messed around with it some, and
I miss Dutch. Oh, Marty Beard knows Dutch.
Yeah,
loved
Dutch
his stories
Salmon.
and bought a lot of books from him.
I got his book right here.
There you go. Tierra cleared it up right now. The internet never lies.
No,
absolutely not.
I got Dutch's book here somewhere, and he sold me a bunch of books. He was kind of him and David Heiss were real good friends, and I was friends with David Heiss, or I am friends with David Heiss, and I was good friends with Dutch. David's the one who, when I got into the sight hounds, David's the one who set me up with decent dogs, and he told me where to get them and went with me to get them and stuff, and sold me a couple. And then Dutch, Dutch was more, he liked to run jackrabbits. I mean, that was what his deal was. He loved to course those jackrabbits, and he had some really, really good dogs. And he was more of a intellectual type guy, where David is just a tough son of a gun. I mean, a double tough son of a gun. But
both equal in both their talents.
yeah, David. I mean, I've heard stories about him. He's like he got to be like a 3rd degree black belt or something like that.
I guess you need it if you're out there fighting rabbits.
No, he was a coyote, more of a coyote, and he loved to run hogs. He was a hog man. He loved to run hogs.
I got rid of all social media. That social media. I've said before that social media it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. You can do a lot of good things with it. It's just like a gun. You kill somebody with it, you can save somebody with it. I've always said that.
All you got to do is
it's the way you use it.
Go on Facebook and get on Facebook and find a post that has over 10 comments, maybe, just 10, and go through the comments and listen. There's always some yahoos in there telling people how dumb they are, how they're wrong, this and that. It's embarrassing.
There's 2 sites I can tell you to go to right now, 2 pages, and that's Friends of Concho, right here in Concho, Arizona. Friends of Concho, and there's Maricopa. There's 347 Rant, and it's all about a freeway that goes in the little town of Maricopa out of Chandler, and it's crazy. And I mean, people, it's like 147, 300 comments, and you could just read the comments all day long. It's entertaining.
That's what I'll do.
This guy. It's crazy.
I'll find a post and you look at it and you think, oh man, I got to read these comments, and they'll tell you, I mean, stupid stuff.
This one, the 347 Highway 347 Rant. It's a horrible road. When I moved to Maricopa, 86, they had no fence. They had a two-lane highway. It went down into the river. Didn't have a bridge on it. You hit horses. Those res horses got hit every week. Every week, res horses got hit. And now it's a 4-lane. It's 2 on each side, and it's just packed up. I mean, it's backed up miles. And if there's an accident, backed up. If you're trying to get home after 3 o'clock, it takes you, 2 hours to get 14 miles. It's just horrible. But, oh, my God, the people are just, terrible. It's crazy. And then Maricopa, I mean, we had 5,000 people. Now there's 50,000. I don't even know how many's in there now. They got 80,000 houses, we had a Circle K, and that was it. So.
See, I just pulled up one right here. I mean, it has 27 comments, and all it is a picture of a mule with a saddle on it. Ranch Mules and Donkeys USA. And the picture is great photography. And it's a pretty picture of the mule. And here's a comment. This is not great photography. Static shots anyone can snap. I mean, right away, there's somebody complaining about it.
Yeah. I mean, we did get 2 thumbs down. Some people don't have good taste like we do. I don't know. It was probably some other people on other lives.
We're probably
better not be you, Chris Powell. Better not be you. Ed Barnes.
Ed Barnes. Yeah, we even had them both on our show.
We'll find you. We'll go on tomorrow and put thumbs down if we find out it's you.
That's what we need to do.
2 thumbs down. We'll have 2 thumbs down on yours.
You got like 15 YouTube accounts. You could keep switching accounts and keep giving thumbs down.
Oh man!
We got another thumbs down right there.
That's someone. That probably was Chris Powell. He probably has some other ones too. Ed Barnes.
Now we got a thumbs up.
Or,
counter the thumbs down.
The Blood Origins guy, maybe. Who else is doing YouTube?
Blood Origins guy. I don't know about that outfit. They got a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money.
I think there's people out there that aren't very talented. I'm not saying he's not, Robbie. I'm just saying there's the only reason I didn't like listening to his podcast is he's too quiet and I couldn't hear it. And I didn't like turning my radio all the way up to hear him. And then a commercial come on, it's too loud and it drives me crazy. But when you know somebody that has money, or maybe he has money, sometimes you get people who just have the finances that do what they're doing, even though they're not good at it, but because they have the finances, they just keep going.
Well,
And there's people out there that if just had the finances, they would be phenomenal if they had just a little bit of money to do it.
I think they're what do they call it? A 5013C or something like that,
Yeah.
a nonprofit thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so they, you can do that, and then a lot of those big companies will do, and they're, they're doing a good thing. It's a good cause, and they get a lot of that donations because it's tax deductible and stuff. I guess that's how it works. I've never had enough money to really worry about it.
People are like, "Oh, you guys did good." We didn't do good. So all we did is put the word out. Everybody who donated did good.
That's right.
Cody King did good.
Cody King's the man. I mean, he's the one that really motivated a lot of people to donate. I got to figure out how to get this cigar lit. Do you have any suggestions?
It's probably, I don't know. I beat my ash off the end of it sometimes, and it helps. But so it's all the people who donated that help, and everything helps. Dan, a lot of people said Dan was kind of talking down to us, but he texted me, he's like, "Man, I really appreciate it. Every little bit helps to the end, no matter what it is."
He didn't text me.
No, he don't like you, I guess. No one likes you. We don't get invited to the media stuff. We're kind of your true redheaded stepchild, and I think I'm guilty by association because does my beard look red? That's what it is.
I asked Jason, I said, "What is this about this working dog media or hound dog media or something?" I said, "What's that all about?" And he told me, he's part of it and everything. I said, "Dang." I said, "Nobody told me about it."
Yeah.
So
I think it's like anywhere. It's like your hound associations or your houndsmen. You have your little groups, and I bet you they see this back in Virginia. I just watched a little bit of Kirk Price's. He did some stuff, and he's trying to grow a beard, be like us too.
Yeah,
but he, and he didn't film a kill. Like he didn't film a chase very good, and he said, "Yeah, I should have gave him my camera." But even him,
it's that's what people don't realize, and to be fairly successful on YouTube, and I've said this before, I've made my videos about a destination, a place I'm going, and a story about that destination.
Mm-hmm.
But if you watch my videos, I always got my hounds with me. And most of the time I'm going to an area that I kind of want to learn. During the summer, I was going to places I wanted to really kind of learn about, and basically a lot of scouting. And so that you reach a broader audience that way. And I think in my mind, I think that I'm helping, because a lot of people who've never been exposed to hounds or houndsmen or whatever, they'll ask me questions. And they see how I treat my dogs, and they know that it's not just a bunch of, it gives them a better impression of what a houndsman is, I hope.
Well, Kirk Price's last video, he went and he was in his tent, and he had his 3 hounds in with tent with him, So it's not like he's leaving them out in the cold. And me, I don't know if I'll raise another inside dog because I don't feel a hound. I raised Stinker inside, and I just don't feel she's still young. I haven't got under too many trees yet, but I don't feel they're as tough. But even then, when it gets down to 20 degrees, when it gets cold, I have my box. I have flaps on it, and man, it's no lie. It's warmer in that damn box than it is in my tent. I have to be careful. You have to be careful when you got 10, 12, 15 dogs inside of a box. You'll kill them in the wintertime.
They generate a lot of heat.
Mm-hmm. Because it's too, it is. I put my arm in there and it's like 80 degrees. I'm like, God dang. So you got to be careful even with that. And I got the slits on the side, and so what I do is I just flop them and screw them down in the winter, and I got about a 2-inch gap all the way across that. And you think that would be enough on both sides, but it still gets pretty warm there. I got to be careful.
Yeah, I got flaps on my box on my truck that fold
Mm-hmm.
down or open up. I worry more about heat than I do cold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those dogs all ball up together, and then I got some horse blankets in there, and then I'll put straw or sawdust in there too, and
Oh yeah,
they stay
I like
plenty warm.
Bermuda. That straw blows around too much in the shavings, so that Bermuda kind of lays a little bit flat, and if they dig at it, it'll fluff it up.
What is this? Brett was supposed to be tagged in that last one. Oh, your last post, Tim Brink. I am. I went. Matter of fact, I didn't show. I took the female dogs out there and I trailed that lion up to that bald hill. Well, I went out early the next morning with the male dogs, and I trailed all the way back into some back, and I ran in backcountry, and I ran into a fence line. I couldn't find a gate in it, and I called the rancher and I said, "Hey, where's the gate for this?" And he said, "There's no gates." And I said, "Well, the dogs trailed across there," and he said, cut the fence. He said, "Just cut the fence." He said, "I'll come back up there and fix it." And so what I did is I sat there. They were trailing real slow, and I just sat up on the side of the mountain on this side of the fence and had my Garmin, and I could watch. I did a Cody King. I could sit there and watch, what the dogs were doing, and I think that lion. There was a big set of bluffs back in there, big set of bluffs, and I think the lions were probably, I make shit up or stuff up. Excuse me. Sometimes. And I just, in my mind, I thought, those lions probably up there in a crack or something. But then it got hot, and the dogs were all milling around. They spread out, and usually, they lost the track in there somewhere, and they were looking, and they were in those bluffs. So, and then, the temperatures got up over 90 degrees. But where I was at was right there. I was right there by the Butterfield Trail, where the Butterfield Trail comes through there. So I scouted out some water sources while I was out. And because I'm going to ride that Butterfield Trail. I'm going to ride my mule with a pack mule right out of my yard. And I'm going to hit that trail, and I'm going to go all the way to Arizona. And there's like 3 more places I have to figure out how I can get through. I might not be able to stay. I wanted to stay as true to the trail as I possibly could.
May have to go around some private property.
Yes, I'm going to have to do some road riding, which I really don't want to do, but
Especially with
have
dogs.
to. Well, I'm just going to take my Peso dog. Just on the trip like that, I'll take Peso. He's that pup I got from Idaho. He's half greyhound and half working cow dog, and out of some really, really good stock. Sean O'Neill from up there in Idaho got him for me. And
when are you going to debut him?
I've had him out. Quite a bit. I'm training him. Me and my grandson have been working on him. We got him sitting, and then this is what I want to do now. And I don't know. We're teaching him right now, up, and
on the pack mule.
I want him to ride on top of the pack mule, and build him a little box up there.
Dog bed up there.
Yeah. And that way, he can just ride up there and start going with me a lot of places and be something obedient. But he's a hunting dog too. But he'll be more of a sight type hound.
Yeah.
But he's a cool little dog. He'll be my pet. Yep. Anyway, so Tim Brink says he's gonna. He says he's gonna. I would like to take a mule across the Lewis and Clark Trail. That would be cool. I like any of those. I got fascinated with long riders. The Long Riders Guild. Look it up sometime. And that I don't know if I'll ever have time to do that, but you get inducted into the Long Riders Guild if you ride 1,000 consecutive miles, and they'll induct you into the Long Riders Guild. And there's quite a few. There's quite a few people in it. Some really neat stories about guys. There's one guy rode a mule from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and pretty cool story. I've talked to him before. He's a neat guy. And then that old
Always
lady.
wanted to ride.
Go ahead.
I always wanted to ride the Arizona Trail, which is like 800 miles.
Yeah.
From the
And then
bottom to the top. That'd be
those unbranded guys, they
Yep.
rode from Mexico to Canada. The problem, I mean, they did it supported. They had chase vehicles and stuff. But a lot of these guys, that old lady that rode all over the country, she wasn't supported. She did it all on her own.
There's still people who do that.
Yep.
There's Mandy Manners, or she does it. There's there's the guy, kind of a hippie looking guy with long hair.
Lee,
he lives out there.
There's that Lee Kirk. I forget his name. He's
I don't know.
got a YouTube video.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna give you
the guy with the long hair and kind of a beard and a skinny guy.
Well, he didn't start out with a beard, but he's been on the trail forever. He rode from Utah to
This guy lives out there. He literally
east.
lives. He goes public land just all over and lives. And that Mandy Manners too. Matters or whatever her name is.
This guy's been making a video or two a week of his travels. And I follow him. It's pretty cool, yeah. Jake Harveth. Week 50 of 6,000-mile journey. That's pretty cool. He's riding Mustang and packing a Mustang. He's using Mustangs, but I think he's traded horses a couple times.
Well, even in the old days, they didn't ride one horse the whole time. I'm sure they swapped them out here and there.
My mule's going to make it, or I ain't going to go.
Be eating mule tacos.
She can make it. And that's another thing that I'll do is like that one place I found. It's called Stinson Well. I'll probably take a barrel and stash some hay and some extra feed in different places, so I can take a little bit better care of my mules. And because we, out here in this desert, there's not enough grazing.
There's nothing
keep
out
them
there.
alive, So
you hobble them for a month and they barely have enough.
They'd starve to death. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well,
that's the plan. I want to do it before I get too old. I'll be 60. I'll be 63 years old November 26th. So,
I don't know. Don't be such a pussy boy. Warner Glenn's 87, still doing circles.
Tough, double tough sucker. I mean, all those guys. Warner Glenn, Steve Smith, Terrell Shelley. Although Terrell Shelley has kind of fallen on some bad health. But Rick Dickerson, he's 68 years old. Look
at Joe Hott.
Double tough. Joe Hott, look at him. They say he's something else. So lots of these guys, and these are they all fascinate me because they're, dry ground lion hunters. But these guys like Gene, I mean, to me, he fits right in with them. He's got all that history with him, and he's running coyotes and doing it. I mean, it fascinates me.
Do we ever hear of any old coon hunters out there? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. They're all congratulating Lacey. I don't know. I don't know none of them dogs.
I don't know much about the coon hunting world. I know it's a big world, and those contests are huge. And that guy, Josh Michaelis, he has that Kane Street Media. He does a good job.
He covered that.
Yeah, and he does a heck of a good job.
I seen him on live at like 9 o'clock or something, which is like 12 back there, 11, 12 back there.
Yeah, no,
he was on doing a live, doing the, which it's coon hunters. All them coon hunters are up watching it, that were there.
No. But he does a really good job.
I wonder how many dogs. Anybody know how many dogs were in that World Coonhound Championship, and where is that held?
I don't know anything about any of that stuff.
I don't know nothing about it. There's so much coverage on those.
What is that Autumn Oaks thing? What is that all about?
Yeah, Chris Powell covers it. W covers it. Josh Michaelis covers it. A lot of the guys cover those coons. It's just us over here, pussy boys, talking.
We don't know anything about it, though. I'm dumb as a rock when it comes to coon hunting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. They got all these ways they score those dogs, strike points, and all that stuff. I have no idea how that works.
And I've heard the drama. The fights at the tree.
Oh yeah, you get that much money involved. And it's I bet there are some big old nice fights.
Especially when it's down to the wire. You know, I can guarantee right now, go to a YouTube page or Facebook page that's talking about little Lacey winning, and someone will say it cheated or judge called that wrong or
I seems like I read something on that not too long ago somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Some guy was complaining and said that dog didn't deserve it or something like that.
Well, it may have not deserved it, but it won it. You know, my dogs don't deserve to catch a lion or bear sometimes, and they just get lucky and do it.
Yeah.
You know?
It happens.
So, it happens.
Guys,
Anyway,
we got 5 minutes left to make a 3-hour podcast. Is there anything else worth talking about?
What's the pot? Does anybody know the pot on that Coon, the World Championship? I know Autumn Oaks is high, right?
Yeah, I don't know. They win a ton of money. I know all that.
You guys are going to make me Google it. Where's my Google guy? Come on, Rodney. Google it and have Tierra put it on there. Let me see here. World champion.
Did we get another thumbs down?
Probably. Talking about Coon. Coon hunt purse.
Oh, look at
what is it?
Mr. Bisbee finally showed up.
The 2023 Coon Hound World Night Hunt Championship had a total purse of $25,000. The UKC Tournament of Champions is a coon hunting event that had purses of $200,000 and $250,000.
Wow.
So
I know they give trucks away and all kinds of things.
I better put them here. World Champ 2024. Well, it's like roping. Them ropings you see those guys with trailers and trucks all the time. 2024 Coonhound World Championship has a total purse of 25. In addition to the total purse, there's also 9 other placements that receive a portion of the prize money.
The good thing about ropings is it's a clock. It's a timed event.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a judged event.
Well, what is it? I don't know nothing about them. I don't know if it's timed event either. You know?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know all that. I know that they got judges. I mean,
but $25,000, I guess. Go out and work a few hours. There you go, $25,000. Wish I could make $25,000 catching a lion or a bear or a coyote.
And snow is better than dry ground.
Well, it is for people who don't know how to hunt very good.
Now you're sounding like Benny.
Well, he's not here. I had to step it up a bit.
Yeah.
And we got 3 more minutes to make fun of you for it.
Snow hunters.
Well, them snow hunters, they gotta leave a track or they'll get lost. So they can't turn around and go back. Snow hunters can turn around and go back. Dry ground, we don't hardly leave no track, so we just make big circles, sometimes too big. So
and go for a long time without catching a lion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what I always said. They always wonder why those dogs, those broke dry ground lion hounds sell for so much money. I mean, you take a dog and hunt for 30 days and not catch anything and not have any trash races. And then on that 31st day, he strike a lion track and trail it up.
Good people. Good people. You could talk to Warner Glenn. I bet you he went 15 days, not an ounce of bark or sniff. Like just, Mike Roots tells those stories about just, it's lucky. No matter how good your dogs are and how good you are or how tough you are, it's luck. Hunting is luck. You're lucky to find where that track is. You're lucky to know that lion came through there. You might be good, like Dale Lee, you're not a lion hunter. He knew where it would go if you found the track. That's why they knew they had a lion and said he went that way.
It's like Terrell Shelley and Steve Smith and those guys. They know the country so well. When they leave in the morning, they know the place they're going to go check. And then they go check another place. And then they check another place. They know all the crossings. you know, where the lions are going to cross, where they've started lions and trailed them before. So they, you know, they know all those corridors where the lions travel. And that's, you know, after doing it for so many years. And I'm sure that's the way it is with Warner Glenn down there. He knows. And of course, he's in a, you know, some of that southern Arizona has a real high density of lions.
Oh, yeah.
So that makes a big difference.
A lot
And
of
you get into
deer.
country like that, a lot of deer, a lot of lions, and man, you make good dogs that way.
A lot of javelina. A lot of food sources. Just like bears. When there's bear, you know, there's a big pile of bears in a spot, a high concentration. It's because they got black walnuts and blackberries and blueberries and wild strawberry. Just as
Hey,
successful. You never hear the stories.
you've never watched my videos, have you?
God, you never watch my Southern Arizona
You
videos.
never hear the stories about the dead hunts, just the successful ones. No, I've probably put over 100 videos up of dead hunts without. I guess that's what you're calling about a dead hunt when you don't catch nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yeah, well, there's our 3-hour mark. Suck it, Joe Rogan. Suck it.
Joe who? Guys,
Yep.
let's call it a night. That was fun.
Appreciate
Gene
everybody who
Gene made the whole show.
Yep.
I could talk to that guy for hours.
It's a different subject, you know. It's a whole different world. Just like when they talk about running those rabbits. It's crazy the stamina you need for a rabbit.
Oh, those speed dogs.
Oh man.
Or those little beagles running them by scent and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Scent, sight, running like crazy. So good deal.
People, thanks for stopping in.
And I
We
will
really
see you
enjoyed
Wednesday.
it.
I don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but
this
I
has
think I'm
been
gonna
one of
pile
my
a bunch of
favorite
people
ones.
on. Yep.
Go hang out with Mr. Chris, Anecdote of a Houndsman, on Wednesday night.
Brett will stop by for 20 minutes.
If I can. I got a place I want to go. I got a plan.
Yeah, you got to get in that time of year.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about leaving and going to a place.
You have no excuse.
I don't think I'll be back in time. I might be.
Oh, you're not staying out?
I don't know. I might. I don't know.
That's why you got Starlink.
That's it. Oh, I could do that. I forget about that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time, or see you on Chris's. And don't forget George Lambert next Monday night, talking about hunting bears in Maine. Should be a good one. I like old George.
Yeah, I like George.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.